the Mets here. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home Make it happen. There's no stopping us now. We're gonna do it again. It's not a question of how. It's just a matter. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of when.
Hello again, everybody.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets with Rob and Mets Talk with Hayden on this game stream. Mets versus Reds, game 36 of the season. The New York Mets are in Cincinnati, Ohio, to face the Reds. And we are hoping that this team actually shows up and puts a W in the win column. So we are going to get through the lineup. We're going to talk about what this team needs to do today. And, of course, the news that most of you probably already heard, Max Scherzer is scratched from the spot today, from the start today because of neck spasms, not because of the scapula. That might be related somehow, but neck spasm was the word around the reporters, was that it was neck spasms that scratched him from the start today. And our friend, our guy, the guy that gets so many chances in David Peterson, gets another opportunity called up from AAA to pitch today. So let's hope that he has no time to think and just pitches, because we know he's got the stuff. If he limits his walks and limits the home runs, he might actually have a good day. But then again, it is Great American Ballpark. So Hayden, what's up, buddy? Thank you for coming on the live stream today for the Mets game. And let people know, what do you think this damn team needs to do to get back on track in any way possible?
Yeah, well, first, what is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden here. Hope everyone is doing well. If you're watching on my channel, Rob's channel, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm finally doing a game stream that's on my channel also. I know a lot of people, I did like one or two in 2021. Fortunately, didn't do any last year, and a lot of people were requesting it. So, Rob and I are doing one tonight, and hopefully we'll do plenty more as the season goes on. And I definitely, like I said, it's definitely got to do it with someone, because for me to sit and I don't know, I get bored easily. So I need a person to kind of bounce off with. So yeah, definitely Rob and I will be doing plenty of game streams, hopefully my channel, his channel, all that great stuff. But yeah, obviously tonight's start was originally supposed to go to Max Scherzer. And yesterday we were informed that he's been having these back, neck spasms, 10 million other things that's been bothering him for the last 2 weeks, and he just hasn't been vocal about it. And then it's like, okay, well, could that be to why he's been playing like absolute garbage the last, I don't know, game before he came, the Detroit game, and then a couple games beforehand? Because we know after the Padres series, when he pitched extremely well, he notified, when he kind of went out and said, he wasn't feeling 100%. And, well, I mean, he's 37 years old. What can you expect? We discussed all of yesterday talking about Epler investing in an old rotation. But, it's coming to the point, like, what's going on with Max? And we already dealt with this with DeGrom for, 3 years in a row. When a pitcher's not well, especially at someone that's his age, fans would like to know. The organization needs to be vocal about it. And I don't know what the issue with Scherzer is. Tacoma put something out saying it was a neck spasm, and he apologized because he said back spasm originally. So yeah, I don't really know what the deal is with Scherzer. I hope he can really try and figure something out, because sooner rather than later, how many more, chances is Scherzer going to get? Personally, I would just put him on the IL. I don't see why the Mets are running around wasting his time. If he's hurt, and maybe that's why he hasn't been pitching as well, then yeah, maybe that's an issue. Because, we saw the Miami game, opening day, pretty decent, that Padres game. And then really after that, he looked a little different. And you could tell physically, he didn't really look himself. So, when the Mets are running around just trying to, play games, not literally, but like, they're joking around and they're saying, oh, let's throw Scherzer out there. It's fine. No, like you didn't learn this from DeGrom. I mean, this Mets team has a huge history of throwing guys that aren't healthy out there. Matt Harvey, Jacob DeGrom, no more. And especially at Scherzer's age, cannot joke around like that. I get it.
For the entire year.
Yeah. And like, I get it. Scherzer's a very competitive guy. He wants to go out there. They're saying it's day to day. He may honestly pitch Thursday. And I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see how he feels. Personally, I think he should go on the 10-day. I know it kind of sucks because he was technically on the 10-day IL with the suspension theoretically, and he still feels a little weird after that. So, I mean, that really says something.
Yeah,
so,
but we don't even know if he threw or did throw or did not throw. We don't know. Like he wasn't around when you're suspended. You're not allowed to be around the facility. So was he at a high school? Was he at a college? Was he in his backyard, throwing against a bed or, like what the guys did it during the pandemic, stuff like that. Like, what were they supposed to, how much did he do? And then was he taking them 10 days to get healthier? Like you just said, we don't know. And as I said, again, we laughed about Cole when he bitched about his hamstring in that playoff game against Boston where he got rocked. And he complained about the hamstring afterwards, and that was the excuse. And then we heard about the oblique after the season was over with the Mets last year about the oblique again. And it's like, if you're hurt and you're going to hurt the team and you can't be effective the way you normally will be, go on the IL because I don't want to hear if you take the mound, I don't want to hear of the excuse. And he made a built-in excuse yesterday for today's starts, basically saying, well, I'm working through it. I want to be on the mound. I'm trying to do my best. So basically, you're making today's start, which isn't going to happen, but you made today's start, if he was going to pitch, basically having a built-in excuse of why you didn't pitch well. And I don't like that. I don't like that from any player. If you're not, everybody's banged up. All right. Everybody got nicks and, bruises and stuff like that. Understandable. But if you're going to be hurt and you can't perform at the level you think you can, then just go on the IL and stop trying to be fucking Superman. It's just very simple. Like, you're not helping this team if you're out 4 months. Maybe just taking a week off, maybe 10 to 12 days, might actually, recover enough where you can give us starts in September.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And, it comes to the point right now. I would say so. I think when it comes down to it, you look at the point right now, obviously David Peterson's going to get the ball tonight. Mm-hmm. And, last year at this time when a guy like, DeGrom was absent or Scherzer was absent for a little bit, the Mets would look towards Tyler McGill and David Peterson and a couple other guys that would come into, their outings. Those guys are completely shit. No other way to put it. I don't have any confidence in David Peterson. I don't have any confidence in Tyler McGill anymore. I think I have more confidence in McGill because he's somewhat proven. McGill's issue, I think, is a stride, which that's a story for another day. I don't really know why Hefner and him have kind of came to the conclusion of a shortened stride. And I think that's kind of what's affecting his results. But Peterson is just so inconsistent. I mean, he'll give you a great April and then just like, you saw last year he had a couple decent outings, or he's really good in April and May, mid in June, and then just kind of like went to the bullpen and was just garbage. And honestly, I think David Peterson is a AAA pitcher. Really at most. It's unfortunate to say. I mean, David Peterson arrived at the Mets organization 2020 is when he made his debut during the pandemic season, in the absence of DeGrom, of course. And, he was a pretty good guy. I mean, it was a short sample size. He only made a couple starts, but, I think that's a big issue. And, I see, in the comment section, we're talking about left-handed pitching, and that's something that the Mets have really lacked. And I think that's really a big issue to why the Mets always threw Peterson out there, is because, they never really went after left-handed pitching until this offseason when you had Quintana. And then, it kind of came to the conclusion that, Peterson doesn't really need to be in the rotation because you have your lefty. I'm a person that likes a left-handed presence in the rotation because there's lineups in baseball who don't hit lefties, like the Mets right now. So you have Quintana, he's absent. So it kind of went to either Lucchesi or Peterson. And, Lucchese's been a little bit better in only 3 games. But, Peterson tonight, he gets the ball. He's been big on the home runs. Command's been iffy. He's been getting a little bit better with it. But he's throwing the ball like right down the strike zone. And then skadoosh, it's gone. So my concern, I guess, with David Peterson starting tonight is, you're playing in a hitter's ballpark. And you can kind of go with it either way. And this quick little, game preview, if that's all right. This could benefit the Mets, but then it also can't. Maybe it'll help guys like Alonso, Lindor, maybe some of the, non-power hitters like Nimmo, McNeil, maybe Beatty, Alvarez, help them get their numbers up if they could hit it out of the ballpark. Or I think it's a bigger outfield too, from what I've kind of seen when I was there last year.
There's like a jet stream in right and left center that.
Yeah. And I was there last year at Great American on Father's Day, actually. So I noticed that too, and I went there for the first time in person. But if you look at it right now, I don't really know. Like I said, offensively, I think it could benefit them. But then you see guys, Scherzer tonight. Scherzer was supposed to start tonight. He's a guy who has had horrible complexities with barrels, hard contact, and home runs this season. This whole Mets pitching staff and home runs are best friends. Guys like David Peterson, Verlander gave up 2 home runs in his last outing. Senga's actually been somewhat better with keeping the ball on the ground. That is one thing. Senga's, I have to look at his FIP and the ground ball statistics for Senga, but he's keeping the ball on the ground, which is good. But yeah, right now I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, if you look at it right now, hopefully pitchers hold down the fort, and we will see.
Yep. So we're gonna go through the lineup right now for the Mets, just to see where we're at, and hopefully this lineup. That I don't mind this lineup at all. The way Buck finally actually moved Marte out of the 2-hole, which was well needed about 2 weeks ago. So the lineup for the Mets against the Reds is Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Francisco Lindor batting second, playing shortstop. Jeff McNeil batting third, playing second base. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Brett Beatty seems like he's going to live in that 5-hole, playing third base. Starlin Marte batting sixth, playing right field. Daniel Vogelback DH and batting seventh. Mark Canha left field batting eighth, and Francisco Alvarez catching batting ninth. So Hayden, what do you think about this lineup? I actually kind of like it, besides 7, 8, and unfortunately Alvarez is ninth.
Yeah, obviously Nimmo leading off, that's something that's been seen. And then you look at the 2-3 of Lindor and McNeil, and that's something that I've proposed for a while, at least for McNeil. Constantly in the beginning of the season, and a lot of last year, we'd see McNeil hit 5 or lower in the order. And I really like McNeil hitting higher in the order. Obviously, we know he's a great table setter guy. He's a good contact guy, so I could see why they would want to put him behind Alonso. If Alonso strands or gets on, McNeil can continue to advance the line and pass the baton, sure. But I really do like the Nimmo one. Lindor too, we'll see. As long as he hasn't really been hitting any double plays. Really just strikeouts with him is really the big issue. But the McNeil 3 is fine. Alonso 4. Good to see they're putting respect on Beatty, finally putting him behind Pete. We saw in the Game 3 of the Rocky series, he had that RBI, that 2-run RBI single. So good to see that. And then, the 6, 7, 8's pretty mid. Marte, Vogel, nothing, and then Mark Canha hit.
Yeah.
We'll see. Marte being pushed down in the order. Never really seen him bat 6th. So maybe that'll, hype him up. Maybe
take off some pressure.
Yeah, take off some pressure. hype him up and maybe get back to his routine. Vogelbach, small ballpark, so pull the ball, dude. We don't need to be that MVP merchant.
You said it the other day on the show, yesterday on the Shaper Show. He needs to pull the ball. The guy has power. When you tell him don't pull the ball, and he's got that mentality now that, okay, I shouldn't be pulling the ball. I got to hit the all fields. The hell with that. Pull the ball. That's it. I'd rather you have more strikeouts and hit more home runs than just to get it on base or striking out. Or just not doing basically anything and clogging up the base paths, because you see what happens when he clogs up the base paths. You don't know what he's doing on the damn base path. So a little more strikeouts. You want to lower your on base a little bit, but have more strikeouts with more home runs. I'll take that, considering the fact that we don't need more people on base. We have enough of those.
And that's been exactly, we said it. The Mets have too many table setters and limited power. And I'm not even going to discuss it with Vogelbach because I said it way too much yesterday, and I'm tired of repeating myself. But yeah, so and then you have Mark can't hit, batting eighth, and we'll see what he does. Alvarez ninth. Okay, it's something we've kind of seen, not bad. Alvarez gets on, and then you have Nimmo right after. You just you're kind of going to assume the two guys in front of him are going to get out. Maybe you just hope Alvarez is leading off an inning and he could start something. So it's not a horrible lineup. It's not a horrible lineup. I'm glad that Easy Out Escobar is not in here. Guillorme, I had a feeling that they were going to start Nito for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just had a feeling, but you had the off day yesterday, so there really is no reason.
Yeah. Gotta have a bat in the lineup.
Yeah, it's a decent lineup. Hopefully there'll be some upgrades with Vientos and Mauricio down the line. But for what you have, I would say it's a pretty decent lineup. Like I said, you'll probably see a lot of contributions 1 through 5, and then your 9 and 6, 7, 8. I hope at least one of those guys could provide something.
Yeah. Honestly, Vogelbach has been okay for what he's done. But what we're looking for, he hasn't done well, which is power. Canna, I don't know what the hell he's doing. He was supposed to be a power hitter, according to him, and he's been anything but even the guy he was last year. So, and just so you guys know, they're just showing on SNY that Max Fried is going on the IL for left forearm strain. So, and it's going to be more than a 10-day IL, 15-day IL stint. Might be a month, maybe more. So, again, the Braves will probably find somebody else. Soroka's about to come back. So, they're like a prospect factory over there now. So, but you know what? The Mets shouldn't be looking, or even us, look at the Braves right now, or look at the stand-ins right now. They gotta, if they're not gonna fix themselves, it doesn't matter how many games we're back or how close we are to a wild card or a division. If you don't fix yourself, if you don't get right, well, guess what? You ain't going anywhere anyway. We just talked about that prior to the stream when we were talking about with ourselves about it. Like the Mets can, anything, if they don't fix themselves, if they don't get right, then the 2020 season is going to be a wash, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. I just have to leave the stream for 15 seconds.
Yeah,
my giving me a hard time. So if you could just let me back in immediately, I just have to close my tab because something popped up on my screen and it's annoying.
All right, I'll put you back on. Yeah, guys. So listen, like I said, I like this lineup. I know some people was like, "Oh, I like McNeil in the 2-hole." Yeah, I get it. But you know what? McNeil has been consistent. He puts the bat on the ball. You want that type of guy to get on base in front of what Lindor did well last year, and I gave him a lot of praise for last year. Was the fact that Lindor was able last year to find ways to get on base in front of Alonso, which he's not doing a lot this year. Yes, the RBIs are on par and, basically projected to have about 100 RBIs the way he is RBI-wise. Home runs, he's projected around 20 right now with the start he has. But he hasn't been getting on base a lot for Alonso to come up, even though Alonso's been cold. And McNeil, at the very least, he finds a way to get on base. And that was a big thing last year, why the Mets did well with their lineup with manufacturing runs. And the table setters prior to Alonso getting up. That was key. When your 2-hitter and your 3-hitter have problems getting on base this year, well, Alonso's going to hit a lot of solo home runs. Alonso's not going to have a lot of chances to hit those 2-3 run home runs. And you know what? That's run totals that you need, especially right now when your pitcher is struggling. So maybe with the Lindor 2 and McNeil 3, you have the opportunity of having those guys get on base for Alonso, who is basically your only real power hitter in this lineup. So the game is about to start in about a minute. You guys know the drill. I'll put up the volume. Hayden, I will stop it for like a second and change the channel. Maybe we can be on par with the 10-second difference. But let me just check really quick if I can do it. So just listen up. Let's see if it's a little bit behind or not. Just give me a second. All right. So let me know if you guys can hear it as well.
They're showing me the lineup. Interesting. We have Gary Cohen not in the booth tonight. So
yeah, and then we got Blevins and Steve Gelbs.
But he's not getting paid to talk tonight, just for the
Oh, well, yeah. All right, so Luke Weaver's on the mound for the Reds, and the game's about to start. Nimmo's about to take get into the box, and we're going to start game 1 of game 36 of the season against the Reds in Great American Ballpark in another empty stadium, which is play ball.
Showing me.
And let's hope look, can we put a 5 spot in the first inning? That would be freaking nice. No, everybody likes to put 5 spots on us, and we've been outscored in the fourth inning or earlier for the first 4 innings, nearly 30 runs. That you ain't gonna win that way. I don't care what anybody says. So they're a little bit behind schedule, which is not shocking. But Nimmo looks like he should be going to the plate right now. Yep, he's walking to the plate. So Mets Reds game 36 of the season. First game of the road trip, of the 7-game road trip. Let's see if the Mets can get it done, guys. Here we go. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear the audio.
Right the ship here a little bit after a tough stretch. Mets 3-11 in their last 14. A much needed off day yesterday for the group as they start things off.
Nimmo showing the Mets dugout, Nimmo walking up.
Nimmo into the box.
All right, so we're about like 5 seconds behind now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Getting closer.
It's a strike and we're underway. Well, the Mets offense has been
Sounds odd with Steve Gelbs calling the game.
They got the big runs the last game of the homestand. Nimmo grounds this one up the middle. That's Kevin Newman, perfectly placed. He makes the play, 1 away.
And the ball game is over. Sorry.
I'm gonna say let's actually have an inning that's not like what did I time the inning last against the Rockies? It was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's not have that against Luke Weaver, a guy that I've never heard of with a sub-8 ERA. Like let's play.
Yep. All right, Lindor is up. 1 out.
Take strike 1. Lindor batting .217 on the season, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Fly ball.
Be nice if the Mets hit it up in the air here.
Chasing it is
And a nice catch.
Fairchild,
You're right.
Everybody's great defensively against the Mets all of a sudden.
Let's see. I'm seeing him hit it. Nice opposite field hit. That was. Alex Schwarber probably would have dropped that.
Jesus, I know, but my lord.
I love that as the pitcher.
But that was just what the Mets are really good at, is 2-out hitting. That's like what they're phenomenal in.
Makes a great play like that. That's a packed hit for sure. And here comes Jeff McNeil. Weaver starting him off with strike 1. McNeil thought that was just
Umpire's calling a wide strike zone right now. Hopefully he's consistent.
RBIs and OPS just under 800. Takes that one low. The count 1-1. McNeil coming off a 3-hit game on Sunday. He's one of the few Mets that's been hot over the last few weeks, hitting .349 over his last 19 games.
Come on, Jeff.
Off the plate, count 2-1.
2 changeups now back-to-back that he didn't find the plate. But early, he's just been pouring fastball in there. But you got the MLB defending batting champ up here, who's red hot.
Foul back, the count even at 2-2.
Weaver's throwing shows 94 miles an hour, but it looks a lot faster.
Fastball, 44%
Yeah, I noticed that when I was looking at your screen. It says the velocity.
Luke Weaver.
Yeah.
I've heard one other guy, at least from that neck of the woods.
Yay! What is that, like 1,000 straight first innings where they didn't score a run? So once again, the Mets go on and make Luke Weaver look like a Cy Young caliber pitcher in the first inning. They don't take at bats, and then when they get strikes down the middle, they just stand there and focus on the chili. I don't know.
All I keep on going back to in my head is the Family Guy scene with Stewie, and the ball is hit and the ball game is over. That's the way it feels. It really does. Like it's getting ridiculous now. It's like, they put the bat on the ball. That's besides McNeil. Could we get something going in the first inning? Like I mean, we were so good at that last year, and we talked about that. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else to say or come up with that we haven't thought of already. That what else could they? What can Buck do? He's changing the lineup again. Not really much is going on. Yeah, they scored 6 runs Sunday, but they still lost. More because of the pitching. But he's changing the lineups now. We're probably gonna see Mauricio in the coming days. Who knows? Vientos might be here by the next week. And we got all the prospects everybody wanted up. So and as I said yesterday, no fault of Beatty and Alvarez, but since both of them been on this roster together, the Mets have a losing record, and that's no fault of them. But you know what? It's a team game, and when you're losing as a team, everybody's at fault, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean that baseball's a sport that needs contributions from more than 1 or 2 players. I mean, you need that's kind of been the issue with the Mets is when their pitching's been somewhat mid, their offense has been horrible, and then vice versa.
Yep.
So right now, I mean, you had a quick, really first inning for the Mets. I mean, Nimmo out on 2 pitches, Lindor out on a foul ball, and then McNeil taking strike 3. So let's hope Peterson can.
To Peterson, sorry.
Yeah, so let's hope Peterson can kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
We
did 7 1/3, 7.34 ERA.
Throw a strike, genius.
No, that's not a good start. 2-0.
That's what
Lovely.
precipitated his being set down. Lefty's hitting 306 with 5 home runs against him.
Yeah, throw a strike.
Pours that in there for
Hey,
the
there we go.
corner. The count 2-1. And you said it, Keith. Home runs in general, they've been an issue for David Peterson this season. 8 home runs allowed through just 6 starts. That's 2.3 home runs per 9 after allowing just 11 all of last season.
And you look at his.
Definitely, India is probably one of the biggest guys you have to watch in this lineup.
Hey, all right.
There to start things off.
Cy Young, here we go.
They need to chase for round number 1.
Dominant.
The David Peterson race for Cy Young begins on May 9th at 6:47 Eastern Standard.
Put it up 0s early. I like it. But don't you know what? He threw strikes there. It's amazing what you can do when you throw strikes, right?
Here comes Nick Senzel.
Can't do anything when you throw 3 feet off, high and 3 feet off the plate.
In 2016, off to easily the best start of his career. The first 4 seasons, a lot of injury, a lot of inconsistency. But he's been getting it going so far this season. Player of the week 2 weeks ago in the NL.
And Jerry, you mentioned the back foot slider.
Yeah. Hold on, Michael. Don't say
Yeah, I was
that.
just going to say the same thing.
That was the pretty one. Starts out as a strike.
I think we spoke too fast. 3-0 on the number 2 hitter.
He did
Lovely.
so well last year. Like to see him start off that first hitter of the game like that for sure. 3 straight fastballs, all 3 up and out of the zone to start off Senzel. And he gets a strike right at the top of the zone. Senzel thought he had a 4-pitch walk.
And that's, I think, the big bugaboo for Peterson. He cannot pitch up in the strike zone. He's got to hit that ball down. It's the fastball up too much.
Senzel laces that one into right field. That goes into the corner. Marte goes to retrieve it, but Senzel in safely, standing up with a 1-out double.
Yep.
Mentioned him being up in the zone.
Good stuff.
His biggest
Maybe the Mets could do that. And look at Marte, walking over there.
Right down the middle. Right down the middle. A little late on it, but it was a good piece of hitting.
So runner on first with one out. Obviously, the Mets would probably strike out and get a regular out. So let's see what the Reds are going to do. You have Steer, Stevenson. Two guys that aren't really hitting that crazy, but just because it's the Reds lineup.
Detroit wasn't either until they faced us.
Peterson has fallen behind, and this has been an issue for Peterson throughout the course of his young career. Falling behind batters and not getting himself into good pitchers' counts.
Jesus Christ, that was a strike.
And that's a second ball. So for the third straight batter, it's 2-0 to a Red.
One strike.
The power hitting team. Steer is leading the team with home runs with just 4. They're 14th in the National League in home runs with 27.
Swings over top of that breaking ball.
I don't know why he doesn't throw that slider that starts at the plate and it falls like that. That was a nice pitch.
We've said that 1,000 times, and that was a big part to his success. 2020 and last year was he threw his slider a lot. Fastball, it goes 30 feet off the plate.
Swung on and grounded right at Lindor.
All right.
He makes the play, 2 away as Senzel advances to third.
I think Peterson tries to strike out everybody instead of just pitching to contact, and that's what he is. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a guy that's a contact guy. He's a ground ball pitcher. That's what he needs to do.
Oh, exactly. And look right now. You have a runner on third, 2 outs. This is what the Mets pitching staff has really struggled with: is getting out of these situations. End the inning, put it to rest. It's been a big issue with Peterson. It's been a big issue with Scherzer. You have 2 outs, a runner on third. And get any out you can. Don't give up singles, doubles, home runs, walks.
Mm-hmm. Throwing his changeup a little bit now. I like that. Instead of being just fastball slider.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep him healthy, though. He's had injuries throughout the course of his young career. So the Reds have 3 catchers on the active roster. As he lines that one up the middle.
Come on, Jeff.
So what did I just say? If you guys want to rewind like 30 seconds. The Mets cannot get out of situations like this. They get 2 outs, and then Jeff just stands there. Good play, Jeff. They get into situations like this constantly, where they get 2 outs, a runner on second, a runner on third, and then they just can't get out of the situation. It's 1-0 right now. Look, the Reds are getting 2 outs.
I know that was up the middle, but why did McNeil die for that?
Yeah, Peterson, you can't get that. I don't know why McNeil was very lazy on that, especially with 2 outs. I don't know.
He was playing a little bit of the shift. He was basically next to second base, playing deep.
Now Peterson's going to get his pitch count driven up.
Yep, and that's where he gets hurt.
So like we talked about, Peterson just struggling to get ahead of these batters.
Outscored 29-9 in first innings this season. That's a joke.
So far in the young season. Tried to go up high, missed up and away. Seems like Peterson's really struggling to locate his pitch at the top of the zone.
Well, we've seen Peterson enough. With his first year, he came up when he really pitched well that second half of the year. He had a sinker ball. He's not a hard thrower. He's got a good slider. He's got a good four-seamer. You don't have to throw 100 miles an hour to get hitters out. But I think he's got to find that.
And now it's a mound visit. Jeez. 20 pitches so far for David Peterson in the first inning. Obviously.
I didn't think he was going to go past the 5th inning anyway, but it's not if he gets there.
He's going to go 3 innings probably.
And he's going to be swinging on 3-0. I guarantee it.
Here's the 3-0. Just catches the bottom of the zone. Count 3-1. Alvarez going out to visit.
I don't know. Do you think he's tipping his pitches, or do you just think he's just a trashy pitcher?
I think he can't replicate his windup.
And that's a base hit through the left side. The door just can't get there with the dive, and the Reds Got 2 on, 2 out.
Yep, this is what I talk about. This team constantly gets 2 outs on the opposing team, and then,
At least Lindor tried to die for it.
So exactly what I talk about. This Mets pitching cannot get out of jams like this, and it's ridiculous. Maybe the Reds and the Rockies could teach the Mets how to hit with 2 outs, running the scoring position.
Really.
2 outs, but put it to rest.
A ball in the gap here will score 2. And
Yep.
he's going to be probably up to 30 pitches by the time if he gets out of this inning.
This has been, as you see, David Peterson's shadow through that.
Throw a strike. Can I curse on them?
This was a big issue for Peterson last year. As he gets strike 1 there.
Every slider is hanging. Every slider.
Strike 1 percentages in Major League Baseball.
The batter's looking for it, they're going to kill it.
Spoken a lot to him about. But I guess it's easier said than done.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes a little bit to get your feel on the mound. Sometimes coming out of the bullpen, sitting down, it's not easy, but you got to take advantage. You talk about that sun right in the face of Peterson. It's actually worse for the hitter because the ball comes in and out of light to dark. You try to take advantage of that, throw the ball in the zone, and make it guess.
26th pitch of the
Whoa.
end for Peterson, and that is way.
What the
high and
fuck?
wide. Both runners advance.
Boo!
Used to struggle with that fastball control.
That was a little alarming right there.
Not sure what happened. It looked like he got through a changeup.
I thought it was a fastball.
Was it?
Overthrown fastball, which is what he's been doing.
I'm gonna bet someone $5 at say single right here from Will Myers.
Find your rhythm, take your chances with your fastball, and see if you
I don't really know how much of it is on Hefner, to be honest.
Right.
I kind of feel it's like, what can he really do when he's given these mid pitchers and these veterans who just are not healthy? But
I'm going to give that to Alvarez. That's an Alvarez strike.
yeah, that's a good frame by Alvarez.
This year. He's always been good, I think.
Hey, how about that? So we get
Boo!
with just 1 run, 30 plus pitches already, 34, 35 pitches in the first inning. So the Mets are trailing once again by the second time they get up in the game. And that is the big issue, like you just said. The Mets pitching, not just Peterson, the Mets pitching, especially starting pitching, it seems like it's so easy to get the 2 outs. And then once they get the 2 outs, they nitpick, they pick away, they don't pitch in the strike zone. They start nibbling around the corners, and then they walk about it here, a line drive base hit, and then they're in trouble. Then the 10 to 15 pitches more, they throw that inning, and then here comes the bullpen in the 4th and 5th inning again. And the bullpen that was good the first 20 plus games of the year is taxed on May 9th. And that's why they're not performing well. And it's unfortunate, but that's what the starting pitching has done for this team. It's basically never gave them a chance to score, to get back into these ball games. Every time the Mets seem like they're catching up, here comes another 2-3 runs, and now we're down again. And we saw it in the Detroit series. We saw it in the Rocky series. It's if it's not one thing, it's another. I think maybe you can probably count on one hand how many times did the pitching and the offense click at the same time this year. It's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. It's either the pitching was very good or the lineup scored some runs. It hasn't been both. And it's been a consistent problem. It's been a consistent problem all year. And if they don't fix it, it's going to be a really, really bad season with angry Met fans, as me and Hayden are, and of course you guys are as well. So we're going to the top of the second. Mets are down by 1 already. Alonso's coming up, and he's another one that's cold. So let's see what he can do. Alonso's up, top of the second, 1-0 Reds. Here we go.
Pete Alonso leading things off here at the top of the second. They start things off.
I mean, even his average dropped to 235.
Runs, 29 ribbies, 825 OPS. And he fouls that one away to count on the 2.
And Pete's been struggling, particularly against the left-handers. Kind of pitching in
Vincent might. He has to at least give us 5. at least give us 5.
Timeout.
We need a little bit of length
Timeout
here.
for Alonso.
We're seeing a lot of 2 strikes. A hitter using the timeout, his lone timeout.
And Pete fouls that one away. Count
So
holds it 0-2.
Pete looks a little bit more balanced at the plate,
Despite
a
the recent
little bit
slump
on
here,
those
Alonso
pitches,
still
and he
right
shaved,
at the top in terms of Major League
trying to get rid of that
Baseball.
nasty stuff on that face. Fix his woes at the plate.
Here's the 0-2. Another foul ball. We'll do it again. Like you said, Keith, Pete struggling over the last 14 games, a 140 batting average, just 1 home run. His first 21 games, 293 with 10 bombs.
You just have to be careful when a team is struggling.
He basically dropped 60 points in 11 games,
That
average-wise, and 1 home run within that span. That's rough.
Snowball and affect the entire lineup. You can only do what you can do at the plate. You can't hit an 8-run home run. You can't hit a base hit that drives in.
Looks like he's seen a ball. Well, he took that pitch right there. That was top of the zone, but it was a ball.
It's a lot more difficult. Those guys down there in uniform.
2-2.
That might drop.
Right field.
That might no, it
Here
won't.
comes Myers. He makes the catch. And there's one away. And Keith, to your point, I thought it was notable, something that Fransisco Lindor said the other day after one of the games, where he said, when we go up there and there's a runner in scoring position, we feel like we have to get the runner in, not like it's an opportunity to get the runner in. And that was a different mindset than they had a year ago.
He's gonna die for Alonso there.
That's not a
He got into an 0-2 count, fought it off, a lot of foul balls, which is one bad snitch, got under it, and Luke Weaver's pitching jam begins.
Talk about the pressure that like a guy
Yeah.
like Pete Alonso does to bring the power to the whole lineup.
All right, one of the bright spots in this lineup, Brett Beatty,
especially in the starting rotation,
right in the middle of this lineup.
all the innings that the bullpen has had.
Unfortunately, he can't do everything in by himself.
Go out there trying to throw a complete game.
And I don't know. I mean, do you think that Pete is feeling pressured right now?
Not the way he's playing. I don't think he cares. I think he has enough confidence in himself that, you know, he probably sees it as, well, the other guy's got to step up. I'm doing my job.
To pick the team up and carry
Yeah.
them.
Ground ball. Oh, nice play.
Weaver makes the diving play and gets the out.
I'm telling you, everybody is like, you know, Ozzie Guillen. I'm sorry, you know, Ozzie Smith with the glove when they face the Mets.
That was a nice little light contact hit there. The pitcher Weaver laid out, got in his glove.
Completely to the right side, but that is a heck of a play.
That is a terrific play.
I get past the pitcher. That's a infield single for Beatty. Well, here comes a struggling Marte. Let's see if he can get it together, batting 6th in this lineup.
Starling Marte once again batting 6th in the lineup. The first time that Marte is not starting a game in the number 2 spot since May 10th of last year.
Good. He'll be batting 9th next week.
Away. And you know, guys, Buck Showalter is very conscious of the mental side of things with his players. And, you know, gave Marte that day off on Sunday, so he'd have 2 days to clear his head. As he drops down a bump, that goes foul, though. That's a little insight into how Marte is still feeling at the plate, though. We've seen him bunt in certain situations that we may not have in the past.
All right.
He's been through slumps before.
He's so lost. The fact that you're seeing him.
Look for the player is getting older. You look for a hitter. You look for bat speed. If you start losing bat speed, that becomes a problem, and it's a red flag. He hasn't lost any bat speed. This is just a slump and a deep one, and he will find his way out.
2 out, nobody on. The 0-2 to Marte. Fly ball into foul territory, and that'll reach the stands. The count holds it 0-2. And guys, you know, this happened last year for Marte as well. Maybe not as deep of a slump, but that first month of the season, people forget. He was not very good. He was dropped down the order as well, and then turned it on. Was probably the most consistent hitter the rest of the way, as he fouls another one out of play.
Yeah, Andre Hayden said that the other day.
Especially in the beginning part of the season. The defense made 5 or 6 like excellent plays against them. Those are things that you look for again, it's like, are you slumping? Are you putting the ball in play? Or are you hitting the barrel?
Now he strikes out there.
All right.
Whoa.
And bottom of the second, Mets trail 1-0. And yeah, Gio, I think it is. I think he's hurt. I think he is. Whatever it is, if it was a slide into third that hurt his neck, and that's causing all types of other issues, I don't know. But and Keaton has brought up a good point on the broadcast that a red flag from an older player is bat speed. And he even said it, and Keaton Hernandez knows best when it comes to hitting, right? He says he doesn't look like he lost any bat speed. I don't think he has either. So it's either he's injured or he's just not seeing the ball right now. I'm leaning more towards injury because we know he had multiple surgeries during the offseason. And maybe it's the core issue or the hand issue, or maybe it's not either one of those. And it was the neck issue that he slid into the guy's knee at third base. And that caused him to, re-aggravate something that he might have been nagging. And now it's more of an actual injury. And, I know Marte's another guy like Scherzer that wants to go out there. But if you're hurting the team too much, you have to go on the IL. And you know what? You open up a roster spot for guys like Mauricio, guys like Vientos. And, listen, if you got to start, McNeil in right field and put Mauricio in second, do it. Like, it can't be much worse than this. And even if it is, at least you're trying something different. But don't throw these guys out there if they're hurt. And let's hope that the Mets aren't saying, hey, we need you out there, suck it up. Let's hope not. Let's hope that's not the case, which I don't think teams do that now. This is not the 80s or 90s where they told you, suck it up, put some, Bengay on it and then let's go. Or, just icy hot. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. But we're going to the bottom of the second. The Mets have no hits. The Reds have 3. And the Reds lead 1-0. We'll see if Peterson can have a better second inning.
Peterson facing Kevin Newman. And again, that fastball high. So for the
Keep throwing the fastball.
7 batters,
Moron.
behind 1-0. And you see this in the first inning, just 1 of 6 first pitch strikes for a career 55.5%. That's a lot lower than you'd like to see from any pitcher as he pours over strike 1, count 2-1.
Jerry, what kind of percentage would you like to see? I know every pitcher's different.
Yeah, as a starter, you definitely want to throw more first pitch strikes because you can get to your secondary stuff out of the bullpen. You don't have time to try to be that way.
Down probably didn't call that one a strike.
You want to be in the 60 to 70 percentile. That way you're being aggressive and you can get away with.
That's what you don't like.
Those are going to be in the zone. You can throw a little change up and get a roll over quick out.
Newman pops that one up, and that's going to be out of play. Pete Alonso stopped at the wall, so count full of 3-2.
But sometimes a first inning like that, where Peterson is all over the place, giving up hits, falling behind, and you only give up 1 run, sometimes that's all you need to right the ship. To be lucky, it's better than being good sometimes.
Well, he walks
Can't get that fastball over.
As again, that
You just keep throwing it, I think.
is to elude Peterson. So Kevin
Yep.
Newman, he's on. There's the Reds manager, David Bell, in his 5th season with Cincinnati.
Boy, Buck Showalter and the Mets.
When did Lucchese pitch last? He pitched in Colorado, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
When did Lucchese pitch last?
Sunday.
Friedel, you talk about a surprise this season.
What about Budo? I've been noticing, and a lot of I see people are asking about that. Like, what's the deal?
I don't
with
think the Mets trust him anymore, to be honest with you.
He's hit 435 against fastballs this season, just 091 against breaking pitches, and 182 against off speed. So they want to work a little differently against TJ Friedel. But if you're a pitcher and you're struggling already, how much are you thinking about something like that, Jerry, versus just getting yourself right?
Yeah, you're at this point. You're trying to get yourself right. You want to make pitches in the zone. Whatever you feel most comfortable with throwing strikes, especially after leading off the first hitter, you want to fill up the zone. But now that he's ahead, now we can go to that and take advantage of some of those numbers that you're talking about.
Thank you.
On the off-speed pitches.
So Peterson ahead 1-2.
It's not like they could relay that message to him.
Inside and high, counting even at 2-2. Keith Friedel with an unorthodox batting stance.
I'd rather watch Scherzer pitch out there with one arm.
Lefty Peterson.
Well, the wide open stance is not so rare anymore.
Here's a 2-2. Just off the glove of McNeil. So Friedel has himself another base hit. Kevin Newton goes first to third. The throw not in time. And the Reds. And Newton's again here in the second. Nobody out.
I hope David Peterson gets frustrated out.
And here's the swing. It's a hanging slide ball.
So likely going to be 2-0 because the Reds are a good team and they're capable of driving in runs.
Got caromed off. But look at the strong.
You'd like to see a strikeout double play, but I mean the odds of that happening, I would say, are very, very small. So
Off the glove, automatic.
here comes your number 9 hitter.
And Keith, you talk about that slider, that hanging slider. That's been the biggest difference for Peterson this year. Opponents coming into the night hitting 390, 756 against that slider as he throws over his first disengagement.
Am I allowed to rage or?
Slider, which is always David Peterson's go-to pitch, was working. A 175 batting average against 292 slug. So that right there, you want to talk about a difference. That's it. And he throws over a second time. Quick move. But now you got to watch Friedel at second, who knows.
Now he's going to still second base.
He's got that good step off, quick arm throw. It was a close play, but
Well, he's probably going to take off now.
Yeah.
Second disengagement already. Give Alvarez basically no shot.
Yeah, I mean, was he going to throw a second? And who's at third?
Right-hand hitters, we've seen it's like a broken record. It's got to be an adjustment made. And I'm not a pitching coach, and I don't know what to tell him, but he's got to get it down.
Luke Maley, the batter. He takes a strike. The count 1-1. What would you do, Jerry? If you're out there on the mound and you've got that one clear issue, how do you correct that midstream?
Well, that's the thing. You have to figure out what the issue is. Like usually, when
I'll give up a run to get a double play here.
It's always the same issue.
Yeah, I think the Mets are that desperate.
So whatever you keeping your
You'd like to see your number 9 hitter Maley strike out, and then I'm not sure how Indy is with hitting the ball on the ground, but you get a nice 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah.
But
Here's the 1-2.
of course, that's not happening.
And there goes Friedel. The throw by
Got him.
Alvarez.
Oh.
Not in time. So runners at second and third here.
It's a good throw by Alvarez.
Got a good pitch to run on a fastball, way up out.
Alvarez, if that ball was Alvarez threw it a little bit lower, maybe McNeil could have got the tag. But that's
Are you surprised? 4 pitches to go there? 3 pitches to go there?
Yeah, I don't know. The bottom line is he did finally go, and to me, it's a risky stolen base. Because you get thrown out, now it's up to this batter.
Yeah, Alan, you know what? I don't think runners don't steal off the pitcher anymore. I think it has nothing to do with the catcher. The catcher going to have the best arm in baseball. They're stealing off the pitcher, especially after the second disengagement. All right, second and third, nobody out. Need a strikeout here.
2 on, nobody out, 1-0 Reds. Bottom of the second inning, 2-2 to Luke Maley.
Nice pitch.
All
right, there we go. That's what we needed.
Gets his first out of the inning.
I think, Jerry, from what I've seen of Peterson, and you watched too, he's more comfortable throwing that hard slider to right-handers, and I don't think he has the
no, and that's what I like. I mean,
to the left hand. I agree.
that's a good pitch. What he threw to.
He doesn't throw that enough. He throws that lazy slider that hangs over the plate.
And that's what he needs. He needs to start throwing that hard slider because look at the movement on that. I mean, that's a nasty pitch. But like you said, it's that lazy, hanging slider, and then they sit back on it, and then boom.
Yeah.
Second death.
And then he went to the 2-2, and it was in the zone. So he's missing in both directions.
Nice pitch.
And he gets ahead of India, 0-2. Jonathan India struck out to lead off this game for the Reds. So Peterson looking for another big strikeout here with 2 on in the second.
Another nice slider, but fouled it off.
He is hitting only 200 coming into the game against lefties. Hitting 306 on the year coming in, so 6 for 30 to be exact. Now 6 for 31 with the first every strikeout. So he's struggled against left-handers.
We got him with the first with that back foot slider. I looked him 0-2 to do it again.
Ground ball. Run will score, but gets the second out at first. 2-0.
Only the Mets could do that.
Crosses home plate. The Reds take a 2-0 lead.
Well, he threw the 0-2 slider, but left it up. And
It's a bad 0-2 slider.
Put the ball in and do what the hitter needs to do. Put the ball in play, get the run it. Get the RBI.
So that'll bring up Nick Senzel, 1 for 1 with a double and run scored in that first inning. Peterson again misses up, 1-0. Nick Senzel began the season on the IL, and since he's been back, he has been on fire.
Popped it
As
up.
he pops that one
Out of
high.
play.
Out of play. They'll reach the stands. Count 1-1. So much of it for Senzel.
51 pitches in the second with 2 outs.
He played a total of 270.
Sorry, say that again. I was looking at
51 pitches, 2 outs in the second.
A career high 110 last year, but even last season.
I dare to say this. Do you think? I mean, I don't know. I would go with the extreme of what I'm about to say, but you think there's a scenario that Peterson gets DFA'd quite soon?
I think because he's still under that cheap deal, rookie deal, I don't think they're going to do that. And they're too worried about injuries in this rotation to not have as much depth as possible.
It did what you wanted it to do. That's easier.
The same as the, Corey Oswald starting.
Right. Count even at 2-2.
He seems to be most comfortable throwing that changeup, and Alvarez, again, another positive for him is he sees the same thing. He's willing to go to it more often now, knowing that that's his most consistent pitch.
So Peterson 1 strike away from limiting the damage for the second straight inning. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball left side, and it bounces over the glove of Fransisco Lindor. Friedel comes around to score. Senzel on first base, and the Reds up 3-0.
That needs to be caught by Lindor.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I should say it or if I should replay it from what I said probably 5,000 times in the past 24 hours. The Mets pitching staff cannot get out of situations with 2 outs.
And you know what? When the defense doesn't even help you out either, like that's a play, that's an easy backhand right there that should be caught. Maybe he might have not made the throw, but that ball should be stayed in the infield to avoid a run. And like you just said with the pitching staff as well.
Each of them has had 2 ground balls.
So Hefner went out to talk to Houston. It's 3-0 Reds. I just don't know. I don't know. It's ridiculous for 2 outs. It's really ridiculous for 2 outs.
Just been out of reach or even hit the glove of your infielder. You're giving your defense a chance here. Don't walk guys. Come in the zone. Take a breath and get some big outs here.
Spencer Steer grounded out in the first inning. Low, 1-0.
Did they score that a hit?
It's got to be a hit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, there's no errors.
Yeah, no duh to hit.
And then he misses. The count 2-0.
Even Steve Gelbs is like, why would I even bother calling this game?
The 2 pitches it's go-to to get back in the zone. Alvarez is thinking along with him, trying to will him to get out of this inning.
Here's the 2-0. Their first strike, count 2-1.
So, do we wish injured Scherzer started, or
what Joe Walter wanted to do tonight, and that was go to his bullpen early. Steven Agosic starting the toss. Here's the 2-1 to Steer. Again, misses high and away. Count 3-1.
throw a strike, you dingus?
Guiding the ball, trying to throw almost a dart, getting underneath it, and trying to push the ball into the strike zone instead of driving through that.
Already 58 pitches in for Peterson. Steer Fouls that one away. The count full 3-2. So full count, 2 outs.
And you know what? I mean, at this point, I would just DFA Peterson because rookie deal. What's the point? If he's going to come up and just pitch 2 innings, give up 5 runs, puts the Mets out of it, and make the bullpen continue to get taxed, what's the point?
Yeah.
There's no difference than during the 2018 Wilpon era when we had Corey Oswalt pitching on the mound. Right?
That's the only thing he can do is throw strikes right now.
Bad game, it's a bad team.
Speed, but
Yeah.
the confidence on the mound, I'm not sure where he's going to go here.
Fouling 1,000 pitches off. Peterson's getting into 1 million full count. He can't locate. He walks everyone and their mother.
So the Reds with another base runner.
60 pitches in 1 2/3 of an inning. Are you kidding me?
I gather the long
Yep.
is going to
Is Billy Upler watching this game right now?
I imagine he's,
Or is he Googling like Darren Ruff people that he could trade for at the deadline?
there, and we're in the second inning, not out of the second inning. So it's a concern.
12 batters faced, 7 have reached base for the Reds. Peterson already 61 pitches into this outing. And here's Tyler Stevenson, who takes a generous strike 1 call. Tyler Stevenson 1 for 1, an RBI single in the first inning, batting .261 on the year. Swung on and grounded to base.
Hey, look at that.
Second.
Oh!
Fucking Christ. Oh, 3-0 Reds. Only the second inning, if you were wondering. 5 hits for the Reds. Of course, none for the Mets. Like it's like a pattern. It's like how we talked about yesterday on the show, where all we have to do is just replay our conversation because we're saying the same thing over and over and over again. All you have to do is replay a Mets game and just show the pitcher. They can't get out of an inning with 2 outs. It seems like they don't have no problems getting the 2 outs. But once they get there, they can't find the strike zone. They walk somebody. They give up a base hit. The infielder can't make a play. Lindor, who's been great this year defensively, you can't make that backhand. He took 2 steps to his right, and that backhand should have been right in your glove. Again, maybe the runner would have beat it out, but that runner at second would have had to stay at third because the ball was still in the infield. It goes back to the same thing. It's like if it's not one fucking thing, it's another. And it comes back to the same issue again. It's the pitcher can't get out of an inning with 2 outs. The lineup, no matter how you change it, it's the same thing over and over again. They can't put multiple hits together. They're all struggling. And when somebody actually looks like they can play baseball, they can't get them in when they get on base. So I don't know. And like you just said, yeah, he's got 63 pitches right now. Leave him out there because at this point, why waste the bullpen? All you're gonna do is throw the garbage in your bullpen anyway. Legosic is gonna come out, probably Tommy Hunter, probably some other borderline minor leaguer. It's gonna come out there. So you're gonna give up more runs and waste the back end of your bullpen, and we're at square one again. So now this game is already starting to look like, well, guess what? Now we have to rely on Verlander to try to get us out of a funk, who just coming back in his second start. So here we go. Top of the third, 3-0 Reds. Vogel back up. Maybe he'll actually pull the ball.
Nah, he won't because the Mets tell him not to.
3-11 in their last 14 games.
Sounds like a good team.
That is the biggest concern with this Mets team.
And that 3-11 now is after that very successful West Coast trip. And they came home feeling good about themselves. It's a funny game.
Played well in LA, split the series in San Francisco. It's those last 2 games in San Francisco on, but the Mets have only managed 3 wins in 14, the worst record in Major League Baseball over that stretch. Daniel Vogelbach leading things off in the third. He's behind 1-2. Fouls that one out of play.
Yeah, ironically, you guys talked about how it was the best of vibes at that time because you stayed relevant. You kept afloat until you got Verlander and Scherzer back, and it still hasn't quite come to fruition there.
Low 2-2. All right, so that leads me to this question, guys. As those who have played at this level before, might surprise you. I never have.
You're looking too comfortable right there.
Well, I'm 2 innings in now, Keith, so I got it. As both crowds
Hits it hard, and the defense of the Reds, apparently the best in baseball, don't miss nothing.
All right, we're about to get into some reverse psychology. We're gonna wear our Reds jersey and hope, like,
Get a little jinx going on.
yeah, we're gonna jinx it.
He feels very comfortable.
Oh yeah, get Ken out
and I'm good to go.
because he's not gonna do anything. I love Alvarez, but let him get out because we know that the Mets don't do anything with 2 outs. So start off with a clean inning.
Because it is such a long season. We've seen. Listen, we saw the Braves get off to a tough start last season. We saw the Nationals when they won the World Series get off to a rough start. As Mark.
Oh no, but it's okay, guys, because Bogey's a good OVP guy according to me.
I'm gonna get one.
But
generally,
yeah, I mean, we're seeing lifeless at bats, boring at bats. The Mets batters always down in the count.
in a stretch like this.
I want you guys to count from now on how many times the Mets start off with an 0-1 or an 0-2 count or
Your offense doesn't look great. To come back from a game like
I
this,
think all of them happen.
that might be it. That might flip the switch and everybody gets back to normal.
And a lowly pop up to the infield.
Getting under pitches lately. Hasn't been able to get on track.
So Mark can't hit.
There are 2 away, so give credit to Luke Weaver as well, who is getting ahead, filling up the zone, and
You know, it must be easy pitching against the Mets because they take a lot of strikes. They swing at balls. They're all cold right now, so you're not afraid if you're a pitcher. I don't care if you got an 8 ERA or a 10 ERA. You're not afraid to throw to them. Anybody.
That could be the spark plug you need as well.
the young kids.
The young kids. That's why you bring these guys up. Or bring a little energy. They don't know any better. They're too green to realize it's going bad. They're just happy.
Oh,
And there it is, Fransisco.
that might be gone. Hey, somebody knows how to hit. Apple Taco for
The
Fransisco.
future.
The
But
new-
no one thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mets suck.
It's the Reds jersey. We jinxed them.
Yes, let's go.
World Series, baby. Here we come.
Yeah, just got over, probably a foot or two over.
I'll take it.
Fransisco Alvarez with his second home run on the season. Unfortunately, no one was on base, but a run's a run, and we'll
Right.
see.
One run a ball game. I'll take it.
First hit of the game for the Mets, and it's a run. As Brandon Nimmo takes
That's just power right there.
Alvarez is not hit cheating. He takes a big
Yeah, I mean, we saw that was hit really high in the not so much high. It was kind of decently high, but didn't even really get a barrel on it. Just got the edge of the bat. And
Pure power. And, nice that it's Great American Ballpark. City Field, that'd be in the gap.
316.
talk about Nimmo, Mets being down in the count.
Like you guys said, hey, maybe these young kids, they become the catalyst.
Well, they sent Beltran.
Come on, Brandon. Let's go.
Syracuse. They didn't send him there for nothing.
Come on, Nimmo. He has a couple home runs in the ballpark.
Here's the 1-2. Nimmo fouls that one out of play. Yeah, Mark Vientos just.
This would be so nice if we can come back in this ball game, win it, get that confidence level up. I think it's all about confidence. I don't care if you're a major leaguer or not. You need confidence to perform. It's just that simple.
Exactly.
They would not have had a chance to have that much playing time in spring training if it wasn't for the WBC.
The curse of Hayden's red jersey, Juju.
Hopefully.
General manager.
You can't take that off the rest of the series.
Look at Vientos and Mauricio.
And just like in that first
Oh.
inning, Nimmo grounds.
Hit it hard, but right to the shortstop. But the Mets get that crucial one run that they usually normally get in the top of the third. So the first hit was a home run, opposite field, right center for Fransisco Alvarez. So the guys that have actually been showing a pulse in this lineup, Alvarez and Beatty. Alvarez puts the Mets on the board with the first hit of the game for them and one run on the game. So here we go. 3-1 ball game. Peterson's clearly going to come out again. Again, can he put up a 0? Like, he puts up 2 outs. Seems like it's not an issue, and then which most pitchers can't get that third out. And you know what? Put up a 0. This is the thing that has been a problem all year, right? You just talked about with the 2 out situation. When the Mets score a couple of runs and their lineup is looking like it's starting to show up a little bit, the pitcher either gives up runs or has a long inning, and now your offense is just staying on the field, and you can't even get them up at the plate. Again, what you want when your team scores, get that quick 3 outs, get that lineup right back up there. But we're gonna, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, you know what I mean? Right now, I mean, this Mets team is, and I hate to, use this because, baseball's a result-oriented game, but they're hitting the ball hard.
They are.
Nimmo had that hit that was kind of the opposite field off the end of the bat, took a little swivel to the shortstop, hit hard. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with this team. They're not getting anyone on base. I mean, we see, they don't get anyone on and they drive in, solo shots. And what is it worth? I think you were discussing it before. We were talking about Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Last year, there's a reason he had 133 or something RBIs in all of last season, breaking the Mets single season record, is because he got guys on.
Yep, exactly.
Guys on. 2021, he didn't. And we'll see now as Peterson throws.
Bottom third, 3-1 Reds. Let's see. Got to throw strikes. Uh-oh. No, pop up. Okay.
Left field. Nimmo calls off Canna.
All right.
Shells underneath and makes the
Good
grab
first
all the
step.
way.
Good first batter faced.
Yeah.
Well, as the Mets look to get right, they can only hope for similar success against the Reds to last season. Mets taking 5 of 6. You see, it was a whooping. 1.9.
What did the Mets do last year at Great American? They went 2 for 3, right?
Who?
The Mets last year when they went to Great American, they went 2 for 3, right?
I believe they did. They might have even swept. Because I know they went there kind of early in the year. But you might be right.
It was 4th of July.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Unless that was 2021, but I'm pretty sure it's 4th of July.
Sometimes it gets back to throwing a pitch you haven't thrown to remind your body how to throw strikes.
All right. A little bit better there.
At the top of the zone, the count 1 and 2. So that's interesting, Jerry, that sometimes it's a different pitch that you're not used to throwing that can get the mechanics correct again.
Yeah, so for me, it was my changeup. When I had no idea where the ball was coming out, I couldn't feel it. I would throw my third pitch, and I knew by the shape of my changeup what I was doing incorrectly. The ball would come out of my hand, and I could tell easier, and then that would be my adjustment pitch.
That's fascinating. Full count to Myers now. So, I mean, can you use an example? Like, what would be something that you saw with your changeup that would lead you to correct something a certain way?
Yeah, so
All right, there you go. Wasn't a good fastball, but the hitter swung at it. Myers swung at it. First 2 outs. Here we go again. 2 outs. Here we go.
Is good. It is just sinking. It doesn't have a lot of run to it. So if I feel it come out of my hand and it has too much run, I know I'm pronating too much and getting around the ball.
Can he get out of this quickly? That'd be nice.
Turning it over. That way I can go back to my fastball and it feels right coming out of my hand. I get that proper release off my fingertips.
That's great. Can you be able to correct it like that?
Within 3 pitches, that's the key. And if it's my changeup,
Popped it up. Is he actually out of the inning? Hey, 1, 2, 3. It is. It must be Christmas. Must be. I don't know. He must have took a dose of steroids. He did something. Might have called the Astros, see what he can do, and get a little cheating going on. But all the Red
Jersey, I'm telling you, man, it's the jersey.
It is the jinx of Hayden with the red jersey on. So again, Hayden has to keep that on for every game of 162 left. That's it. No matter if we play the Reds or not. Mets win, you can't take it off. So, all right, we got out 1, 2, 3. That's what we were hoping for. Let's get the lineup back out again. It's not like we hit the ball around the ballpark the last inning, but you know what? We got to run on the board. We got a little bit closer. Let's go. The 2, 3, 4 is up. You got Lindor, McNeil, Alonso. Let's go. Let's get some damn runs. Shit.
Let's get Lindor and McNeil on, and if Alonso hits a homer here, I don't know. I'll do something. But, yeah, I mean, right now, good to see Peterson get out of that inning. Definitely needed. I mean, it's not helping his stats as it is, but still, definitely good to see him kind of go after towards the end of this Reds lineup. Very much needed. Quick inning. Obviously, I thought that fly ball out from Fairchild was like gone for a second, but that was probably just the way he swung. Yeah, just got under. Probably the way he swung. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, like I said, let's get Lindor and Nimmo to produce. They hit the ball the first side McNeil, but yeah, Lindor and McNeil. I mean, so let's get them to get on, and let's have Alonso do something.
Got the home run apple. Got the apple's supposed to come up. I forgot. Sorry, guys. I apologize.
That's cool.
For the inconvenience. Little special effects, All right, so we're going to the top of the fourth. Mets trail 3-1. Let's see if we can get going here with Lindor leading off. Come on.
Right here on the Ohio River, downtown.
Oh, here the Met fans saying, "Let's go Mets." All right, they're alive.
Beautiful view over the right field fence of Kentucky.
And it is the Ohio River. Jerry, being such a good teammate before my first game, he said, "Yeah, it's one of the 3 rivers here in Ohio." Trying to get me.
Tried to set you up a little bit. I would have told you beforehand, but
Different NLT.
Oh, Frankie.
yeah, keep you on your toes there.
A lot of history on that river.
Fransisco.
Hey, all right. Lead off hit. Here we go.
And the Mets get their second hit of the game to lead off the 4th.
Gets a little bit inside, a little slider that didn't break much, and didn't get in enough on Fransisco.
All right, here we go. Come on.
Nice game for the Mets to come back.
Come on, Jeff. Batting
Couple of
former.
Luke's in the blast here. Let's go.
Did you breaking a bat? Did you hear it crack? How does that make you feel?
As long as it has a base hit on it and an RBI, I'm happy.
Down a soldier.
Here's Jeff McNeil. McNeil struck out looking in the first inning.
Would you do a hit and run here with Jeff?
I'll tell you, I know that
I would.
this is
I would do
how
a
it
hit and run.
shows up, but it almost feels like he's
Put a little
trying to
movement on the bases.
on that bat.
Oh, Jeff. God damn it.
McNeil pops up in the underneath it, makes the grab one way.
When he chokes up, almost feels like he fits into the 1880s Cincinnati Reds kind of approach.
You talk about broken bats, and Vita Blue, the great Vita Blue, just passed away, and he will ever be with me.
A lot of 2021 McNeil right now.
We had a cold night in San Francisco.
Honestly, that long angle swing, slap the ball.
Close. He threw me a hard running fastball inside.
Lindor almost got picked off.
Don't pay attention to the shoes.
He got that left arm in.
He got in. He jammed me so bad.
Pete's putting together better swings, a lot more balance.
Got so into my-
First at bat and now this at bat.
on my handle that the bat kind of felt like it bent towards him, and a little number back to him, and he dislodged my nerve in my thumb to this day. I had to wear a thumb pad the rest of my career.
The rest of your career.
MVP. And it's this nerve right here, I can move it around. I can feel it. And it was sitting right up my shoulder. Vita.
I had a chance to meet and talk to him so much. What an amazing human being. Out with playing with the A's, he would come around quite a bit. Being a lefty, I always love talking to fellow lefties.
Alonso skies this one down the right field line, and that'll reach the seats, count 1 and 2. Did you see on that graphic, by the way, though, that 1971 season? I know we talk about the way it used to be so much, but you see it in front of you. 24 complete games, 8 shutouts.
He was a left-handed Dwight Gooden. when he came up.
Mhm.
I was a junior in high school. So I was in the Bay Area growing up on the West Bay, and he was just phenomenal.
That's a shot, but just gonna stay in the ball on just before the warning track. Thought he hit it harder than that.
What do you like most about him, Keith, watching him pitch?
He had a beautiful motion, the big leg kick, and he threw bullets, and he had a big hook. I mean, he was like Doc when Doc came up. I mean, or Doc was like him.
Right.
All right, Brett Brady's coming up with 2 outs.
Warning track power.
And what a great athlete. Could field his
Come on,
position.
Brett.
He electrified the.
We'll see. Can one of the 3 guys that actually cares about playing well and trying to win provide something here?
And Lindor, after almost getting picked off there, he's not taking a very big lead off first. Makes me wonder if he's trying to lull him to sleep.
I bet he is. He's a pretty smart, heady guy.
I hope they can do something here.
When he picked over, so I think he might be playing coy here.
4 for 4 on stolen bases so far this season. Here's the 2-0 Beatty. 2-1.
I tell you this, Luke Weaver might not have a great ERA, but he has a beautiful set of cleats. I believe in
Well, that pitcher doesn't have a good ERA play ball against the Mets. I mean, everyone.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Beatty.
Jeez, another hard hit ball right at somebody. So the Mets do not score in the top of the 4th. I mean, they were playing a left side shift. The second baseman was right by the bag, and the third base was playing shortstop position and hit it hard right at somebody. So the Mets are hitting the ball hard, like he said in the prior inning. They're just hitting it right at people. I mean, there's nothing you can do in that situation. You know, they're putting the bat on the ball. They're not striking out. You know, I don't know. But 3-1 bottom 4.
Yeah, I mean, you have Lindor. Get a leadoff hit to start the inning. McNeil goes with that 2021 launch angle style swing. Gets a weak pop-up. Alonso got one. Warning track power. Just got to the right fielder. And then Beatty, hit another hard ground ball. So, yeah, I mean, it's the same exact stuff. They get guys in, and they can't advance them, and they can't drive them in. Yeah. And, right there, you're 2 through 5. That's really all you're working with right now, obviously, besides Nimmo and Alvarez. And, when Beatty came up to bat, I was like, kind of do something because, do you really have trust in the Marte, Vogelbach, and Canna to continue to hit with 2 outs and guys on? No. So it's just this lineup is in a big situation, and they're just – I don't know what it is. They're playing against – and honestly, I mean, it doesn't matter who it doesn't matter what the pitching matchups are. They're pitching against pitchers that I've never heard of, AAA guys, and guys with 7-8 ERAs, and they're making them go 7 innings, 2 hits, a run, 7 strikeouts, and it's like this is a joke. This team just looks lazy out there. It looks like they don't want to play, and it looks like they enjoy losing.
It does seem like that. So they're showing the pitching matchups for the next 2 days. Verlander, Senga, Green, Lodolo. So bottom of the 4th, 3-1 Reds. Peterson's still on the mound. Got a 1-2-3 in the last inning. Let's see if he can get another one here at the very least.
It'll be a matter of time here on this.
Might actually go 5 innings.
Until he slots back into the rotation. So depending on how his neck feels.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather push Peterson because I don't want you killing all your bullpen arms.
Probably more likely DC, but it's at least possible.
The sooner the better, I imagine.
It's the 2-0.
Here we go with the throwing. No strikes again.
With Max, and if you're just joining us, Max Scherzer scratched from today's start with neck spasms. Woke up yesterday with a completely stiff neck. Peterson gets the strike at the top of the zone. Said he's feeling better today, but didn't want to push it. Smart move. But with Scherzer, there's just been no rhythm to this season. And we talk about the uneven performance, but I think before you could even really start to judge his
just 1 yard.
pitch every 5 days, it just hasn't happened for him.
It's not just Scherzer, though. There hasn't been a rhythm for basically anybody. Singa's been pushed back. Obviously, Verlander's
We talked about rhythm yesterday on the show.
Down to back up. McGill's kind of been the only real steady presence.
Friedel laces that one into right field. Marte.
Oh, all right, Marte.
makes the grab.
Almost underran that ball, but made up with the speed. 1 out. That should have been an easy line drive catch, but he got a late start on that. But that was a nice play by Marte to recover there.
Looks like he lost it there.
He had to make a recovery there. He's got to look at his dead blow.
And that's bullpen cheering him on.
You know, it might be a little crazy to say, but is Marte looking a little bit better in the field the last couple of days?
I feel like that lime green is allowed now as a Mets.
I don't know. Like I said, that's kind of a routine play. They took a bad angle at it and was able to get to it last minute. He's definitely not looking good at, the batter's box. Defensively, nothing too noticing, I guess.
Ghostbusters came out in 1984, my first full season as a Met.
I remember it well.
That was my first full season as a human. That was born in 1983.
My parents weren't even married yet.
All right.
Seriously?
Come on, David.
How old was I in 84? I was 30 years old.
I was born, 3 months after you guys won the World Series in 1986. It's a 2-2.
Uh-oh. That might be gone.
Drives that one out to center field.
Oh, off the wall.
Off the wall. Bailey in standing up with a double. So that one just kept carrying and carrying.
Oh, was that a good pitch? It looked like a good pitch. Let's see, where was it? Oh, God, no, that was a hanger. Yeah, Nimmo looked like he was stopping a little bit. See, he was going to catch that. You know what, though? If Nimmo would have went a little bit, ran to the wall a little bit more, he might have had a shot. Hit the middle of the wall. But that ball was hard to read at first, you could tell.
Today, takes strike one. But yeah, Keith, I was born February 1st, 1987. And my dad always tells the story about Game 6, 86. They were watching the game at my grandparents' house as India.
That's another run.
Flies that one into left field. Luke Bailey, he rounds third. He scores back-to-back doubles for the Reds. Jonathan India gives Cincinnati a 4-1 lead.
Looks like third time around.
He's going through the motions.
He just turned on it and ripped it down the left field line.
And that'll get
it's. What do you
Tried that hard slider, and he's turned on it. Just not a good pitch.
Stays hot, drives in.
Peter's going to get home.
That double, and the Gosens getting hot and hurt.
And here comes Alvarez, Lindor, also making his way.
Rumble Pony.
Like they may be.
Yeah, Rumble out of Syracuse.
So Walter is coming out to take out David Peterson. And once again, another pitcher can't get out. Can't get past the fifth inning again.
Ooh.
Another opportunity for Peterson, and he just failed again. And it's amazing to me because, you see the stuff is there. We know it's there. We've seen it. We saw it during the pandemic. Again, I don't like to take a lot of solace in the stats or any type of, trophies, Cy Young, MVP, championship. The pandemic was an odd year, but he pitched well. And even in last year, he was very good for us. He was one of the pitchers that basically helped us through that 101 win season. It's just, it's just consistency. I don't know if it's mechanics. I don't know if it's tipping pitches. I don't know if he's not confident in throwing any pitches. I don't know, but it's not just him. It's everybody. And it's like now, we're down by 3 runs again. If we lose, now we have to rely on Verlander in his second start to put up zeros, and hopefully the Mets decide to score a couple of runs here. I just don't know. I don't know anymore. It's frustrating. You can't be losing in these teams. After this road trip, we got Tampa Bay and we got Cleveland at home, if I'm not mistaken. I think we played out that game on the road. At home. If I'm not mistaken.
Both are at home, I think.
Yeah. Again, I might be the only one at the ballpark.
You probably will. I don't expect many people to go out. I mean, why would the hard passion, why would fans want to, waste their hard-earned money on BS and nonsense from an organization that is not doing anything and has no sense of urgency? I wouldn't waste my money. I'll tell you, like hell, I'm flying up to New York, wasting my hard money. I honestly would rather go down to Miami and see 2 games there, or the Rays, go up north and see the Rays. I'd rather do that than,
Why not?
Yeah, I'm not going to any Mets.
Put on a show.
You're gonna watch a real organization hit, pitch, and have their pitchers actually go more than 3 1/3. You look at David Peterson's slash line. He's still responsible for the runner at second, but as of right now, 3 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. ERA inflated to 7.68. That's your typical. Sounds like 2018 with the Wilpons would throw Corey Oswalt out, huh?
All right, Steven Nagosek is in the game, and see if the Mets can limit the damage here in the 4-1 Reds.
Solid option for Buck.
He'll face Nick Senzel, who's 2 for 2. Senzel shows bunt on the first pitch. A double, a single, a run, and an RBI.
He's good fastball.
Nagosek's really been throwing that fastball this season, over 60% of the time.
Well, the home run he gave up the last homestand on his last outing was a hanging breaking ball.
There's the 1-1 inside. Count 1-2.
His fastball's a lot like Drew Smith, who you talked about.
Yeah.
He has a really good spin, and if he keeps it at the top of the zone, it really sets up everything. It gets a lot of swing and miss.
Pardon me, the 2-1 now. Senzel pops it up. Alvarez.
Might get a second out here.
Looking for it.
Oh, heads up.
Alvarez almost
Jesus.
over top the railing. Down by the
Nice try by Alvarez there.
His head went into the camera. I was fortunate that he had his mask on. Maybe I saw that wrong, but he could have gotten
Now they're staring. Watch.
He could have got hurt there if he didn't take that mask off.
He didn't catch himself, too.
What an effort.
Oh, I got
right
him
on
on
top
top
of
of
it.
That got his chin.
Most catchers pull their mask off. Good thing he did it.
Beautiful.
Oh, guys, don't worry. I just got some big news. It's the Reds camera. It's not ours. So, as long as Alvarez is okay. This is the look that we have I wish we could get the noise from the microphone. It's quite a shot. That's why they call it backstop. You see Nagosek realizing and almost making a dead sprint to try and grab Alvarez's legs.
Well, the difference, Ken, with the hedge fund, he can fire people and add new people. In this situation, no matter how much money you have or control, what do? Fire Buck, fire Epler? What is that going to do when the same players are going to be on the field? Are the results going to change? Probably not. We look at the Phillies last year. They changed, they fired Girardi. It changed them, but you know what? The players actually started to play better. So I don't know what you do at this point. I don't know. You can't do nothing trade-wise right now. And not one guy is going to change this team. Because it's not one problem. It's more than one problem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Is firing Epler right now, and keyword right now, going to be the move? I don't know. I would definitely start with the approach of calling guys up, Vientos, Mauricio, and don't start guys like Vogelbach, Marte. Mark can't hit. Don't start them. And once those guys start noticing that they're on the bench more, they're going to appreciate the playing time they have, and they're going to make an impact. So I think we need to start.
Strikes. How about that?
have a sense of urgency, go with a route like that, and then as somewhere down the line, I do think Epler will get fired. When will it be? Probably going to be.
We're going to start with somebody on the bench. If it's going to be a hitting coach, a pitching coach, somebody, it's going to start there, and then they're going to skip over Buck and probably go to Epler next, in my opinion.
I mean that is what I would do. I would, by no doubt, fire Jeremy Barnes from the hitting coach, and I would much rather see Eric Chavez back as the hitting coach because clearly him and his teammates had a connection last year.
Bounces that one. Another good block by Alvarez.
To be able to get to that ball and slide over and keep it in front, and he will wait goes down. You see that to be on one knee, but to
Alan, that's
get
funny.
the body over in front of it and keep it exactly where in front of you so you can see it and grab it in case he's moving. It's super impressive.
Well, we talk about the improvement behind the plate from Fransisco Alvarez.
See what happens when he throws strikes? These guys can't hit fastballs. They've been hitting breaking balls all game. They can't hit fastballs. They're behind every fastball. Peterson's fastball, Nagosic's fastball. They're hitting breaking balls. They're sitting on breaking balls. Just outside. Nice pitch.
Misses outside. Count full 3-2.
That's a multi-million-dollar question, and that's what I said in the stream, and that's what I said in our stream yesterday, Ryan, was that, it's really just going to be these guys getting back to what they could be. It's not like Quintana and Carrasco are going to have a spark. Hopefully Mauricio and Mentos, when they get called up, hopefully they could have an impact, but, it's not like you're signing anyone outside, and, it's not like last year where, you're getting DeGrom back or someone else. So this is it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what the change is going to be. It's just going to have to be that they get hot. It's not like anyone else can do anything.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Sanchez signing? Well, I just think
Tim, it really doesn't matter about untouchables. We said this yesterday on the show. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but who are you trading? Everybody wants the kids up. Beatty's performing well. Alvarez is performing well. Mauricio could be up in this week. Vientos might be up. Who are you trading to get somebody that's going to help this team? Because the only people the other team's going to want are the players that you're counting on in this lineup. So I don't know what to do. People want kids. Oh, wait for the trade deadline. Who are you trading? You're not trading nobody. So untouchable. What do you want to trade? You want to trade Nito? Trade Nito. What are you going to get back? A bag of balls? That's the problem. You trading McNeil? No. You trading Alonso? No. Marte? Nobody's going to take that contract. You're not trading Nimmo. Nobody wants Canna, and you're not getting nothing from him anyway. That's the problem the Mets are falling into right now. You got to count on these guys. These guys, they got to perform. If not, it's going to be a shit 2023 season. It's just that simple.
I still believe in him. I don't think Sanchez signing is for catcher depth. I think it's for DH possibility.
Yes, no question. Good call.
And remember,
They're talking about Gary Sanchez, by the way.
I disagree with that. I disagree. Who just said that on the broadcast?
Jerry Blevin. Yeah.
I don't think Sanchez's defense is like supreme. I think his bat probably has more upside. But over Tomas Nido, Gary Sanchez right now is, obviously going to AAA Syracuse to start off to show that he could prove himself. Well, over who? Tomas Nido? Tomas Nido has shown he can't prove himself. He's shown that he's not a good catcher defensively. He's shown that he's not even a major league hitter, yet alone arguably a AAA hitter. So, I'd much rather see Gary Sanchez out there and catch. He's been on a team with a winning culture. He's been on a team with good vibes, culture. What does he bring to the table? Not as much as some other guys, but I'd much rather see, Alvarez and Sanchez play than Alvarez and Nido. And when Alvarez gets back, then you approach it from there.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't get on track.
I mean, what's interesting? I mean, what is there to lose, right? It's low risk, high reward, right? If the guy comes up and ends up being our backup catcher and maybe have some DH spots here, who knows? He might run into a couple. You know, we need anywhere we can get power anywhere. You know, he might bat 190, but if he hits home runs, maybe that helps this offense a little bit. Who knows?
I think if Sanchez came up, he would be a third catcher, but mostly DH. Alvarez would catch every day, and Nita would spell in my opinion.
Well, speaking
Ground
of
ball.
third catchers, one of three catchers for the Reds.
And that does end the inning, so the Reds do not score. Going to the top of the fifth. 4-1 Reds, 7 hits for the Reds, 2 hits for the Mets. Yeah, so they were talking about Gary Sanchez, right? And look, it's a again, low risk, high reward situation, right? If somehow, some way, like I do think that somebody is going to be off this roster soon. You know, whatever it might be, I do think they're going to give Gary Sanchez a chance. If it's going to be DH, is it going to be a backup catcher? Again, I don't think they're going to make him a backup catcher, considering that Gary Sanchez is very lazy behind the plate, and you know you can't have a lazy catcher as your backup catcher. It's just not going to work, right? And you know. He's probably in a situation where the Mets says, you know what, maybe they catch lightning in a bottle. This guy's looking for a contract. I mean, not saying that it's going to work, but look, all you can do right now is pick up guys that have been DFA'd. There's not going to be any big trades happening right now for at least another month. So you're looking at, you know, guys off the scrappy. And listen, like it's not impossible, right? You've seen Brian Cashman do this for years, you know, picking up Gio Urshela from the Cardinals for $25,000, right? Luke Voigt, you know, it might be one-hit wonders, but they helped that team that year. So, you know, Billy Epler has to do what his predecessor has done over the years when the Yankees had injuries, when the Yankees were struggling and nobody was doing the job. He started to get these guys that nobody else wanted from other teams, you know, give a couple of you know, $50,000, $60,000 here and see what happens. And you might get lightning in a bottle for a few players, but that's all he can do at this moment. You know, and then when the trade deadline happens, you know, who knows? But we're going to the top of the fifth. The Mets are down by 3 runs. Can the Mets come back? Who knows? But the Mets will have up. Who do they have up? They got up. Who's this? Marte. To lead off the inning.
That was Jerry's to do. It should have been you, Jerry.
Well, I'll go down there between innings and sprint my way back up next time.
Let's see what Marte can do here. He can get it rocking. It's a little late, it just seems right now. He's had some pitches that hit his first time up, and he missed them. That's what happens when you're slumping. You allow the pitcher to get away with a pitch and make a good pitch.
Grounds out one to the right side. Good play by Steer, one away. Marte, 0 for 2.
Ooh.
Extra base hit since April 14th. So this is now going on 18 games.
That's like the $1 million question. Is how, I mean, yet alone, how are the Mets losing to Rockies and Tigers?
Notice he's been beat inside. But the only way you're going to come out of a slump, you're not going to come out of a slump out in front. You get out of a slump and you go in a slump, you're out in front, you bring it back, and then you find the happy medium.
Vogelback.
Ground ball. Can Vogelback beat it out? No, of course not. The guy bobbled the ball in the grass by shortstop, and he still couldn't beat it out.
But the ball stayed in front of him, and with Vogelback running to first, he was able to get the out.
Well, the right guy to knock it down and throw to first and still make the play.
And the same reason when people say, "Oh, Vogelbach's a great OBP guy, he gets on base." Well, yeah, when he's on base, can he run?
No.
So, what's the reason?
Weaver was.
So he could just go station to station
He's
after,
struggled so much because he's got good stuff.
Say,
good
The 8 other guys in that lineup would have outbeat that. Even Pete.
fastball that dives, that changeup is very late down in the strike zone. You can see why teams have given him lengthy tries.
You know, he pitched primarily out of the bullpen last year for the first time in his major league career. His velo actually ticked up 2 miles per hour, so he's thrown a couple miles per hour slower this season as a starter. But, you know, he's done a great job today getting ahead. 5-0-2 counts. And he spoke about that after his last start, that he was really focused, Luke Weaver, on getting into good pitchers counts.
Another
Then
pop
here in a
up by
good pitchers
Canna.
count, he gets another pop out.
And a quick inning for the Mets offense once again. So I don't even know what to say. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, Ken, we talked about this earlier with Marte going on the IL. There's something wrong. Look, his bat speed is there, right? Even Keith Hernandez talked about his bat speed. It's not that. Like, he's seeing the pitches. It's just something's going on. He's under every pitch. He's dropping his shoulder. You know, if it's his neck, if it's his hand, if it's his core that he had surgery on in the offseason, it's got to be something. Like, go on the IL, put him on the IL, bring up somebody else in that roster spot, and let Marte just rest. The same thing with Scherzer. Just put him on the IL. We're not winning without them anyway, so what's the difference? Just put them on the IL. See anything you can do to see if they can figure out what's wrong, and maybe that 2-week period off helps them. That's it. That's all you can do. You know, try something. Don't keep on throwing them out there, because all you're going to do for a guy who might be somewhat injured or might have a nagging injury that might not be IL worthy, you're going to affect it even more, and it's going to hurt him long term this season, or he's going to stay having issues with that same injury and not perform. So you're hurting the team either way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same motions. They keep throwing, you know, same guys, which is pretty much the whole lineup, besides like 1 or 2 guys periodically that contribute.
Yeah.
I mean, this team is just like, I'm about to fall asleep right now. Like,
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
they have quick innings. I mean, how long was that last inning against the Reds? The bottom of the 4th for them was probably, like 20 minutes? That was 5 innings. That was, 5 minutes? And like you said, I agree. I would put Marte on the IL. I would bench Canna, start benching Vogelbach, because, you know, who cares? I'd rather, like you said, lose with Vientos and Mauricio than lose with these guys. Because, you know, what's the point?
Exactly. So bottom of the 5th, 4-1 Reds. Yeah, Gubs is actually doing pretty well broadcasting the game. It's not bad.
Let's get to the bottom of the 5th inning. That's down 4-1.
We're gonna have fun here.
I feel like I want to just take off the headset and go. Like, it's going okay so far, so let's not push it.
I understand that one. Your Costanza moment.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Fairchild lifts this one deep to right field, back on the track, and Marte makes the grab right up against the wall.
All right.
And there's one away.
That's why pitchers call this Great American Small Park, because any pop-up, especially to that era, could go out. It doesn't. That's
Great reaction.
Just an absolute truth bomb right there to just be like, oh, thank you.
Great American Small Park.
Great American Small Park.
Never heard that one.
And that's going to be an infield single. Good pitch, but check swing. Placed it perfectly.
We've seen the Gosek make that play before. That down the line, turn and throw. He was there, but I mean, that doesn't get any better placement than he's an athlete. Yeah.
One of the Gosek college teammates of the guy he came on to relieve today, David Peterson at Oregon.
And good luck, man. There you go. Thanks for that. You know, good.
I'm telling you, you bring a lot to the table here, Jerry.
Not just good looks.
Oh, definitely not good looks. Here's Newman. So it goes to get ahead 0-1.
You see the break on that slider. That's when Peterson is doing his best, when he's at his best. When Peterson is at his best, he's able to do that same.
Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, Viento's on guard.
So,
There goes the runner. Hit and run. And it looks like both runners will be safe. So Fransisco and Lindor arguing that Will Myers interfered with that ball. Hit Will Myers. Malachi Moore, the second base umpire, says no. It's kosher. But here comes Buck out to talk about it.
looked like Lindor tried to make the tag and made like catch the ball at the same time.
Yeah, but Myers' hand was up?
Yeah, but that wasn't intentional. How in the heck was contact made? That was not intentional. So I think Buck's going to lose this argument.
Oh, he put the hand in front of the glove. That might be an out. He interfered with the ball.
Yeah, that's an out. He blocked it so he couldn't get it. Yeah, that should be an out.
If it works. Oh, definitely.
Wow.
That's definitely runner interference right there.
Oh, yeah, he touched his hand. He touched the hand with the glove, so that should definitely be an out for the
All
runner.
right, so the umpire's gonna start talking now.
Is this a challenge? Is this a reviewable play where they could?
No, they said no.
Take a look at Will Myers.
But he put his hands up. He saw the ball. Yeah, that's interference.
What do you think?
The ump probably thought it hit his glove.
Got it right. I can tell you, my 17 years of playing in the major leagues, I've never seen that. And up in the booth, another 18, 20, I've never seen a runner do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, that's running the first
First base, but you've never seen someone.
not breaking up two. What are they going to do here?
They're gonna yeah, they're not gonna change
This
it.
is an unusual play here. I mean,
This would be a great moment for Buck to, get a little.
Oh, he's screaming.
Yeah, it'd be a good time for him to get tossed and
Yeah.
go off on the field and show players like I care, you care.
Buck Showalter got tossed from the game. Holy
Really?
shit! Ken, here we go.
Yeah!
Yeah. Oh, he's getting red. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Get him,
Yeah,
Buck!
there we
Go!
Oh,
Don't F with Buck!
let's go. Lindor shaking his head. Oh yeah. Look at that, Ken. Look
Lindor,
at that, Ken.
don't.
Here you go, Buck. Pick up the base. Throw it.
Yeah, let's go! So who takes
Yeah, look at that.
Go!
Yeah. Let's go, Buck.
Yeah!
What we've seen in a month.
Good.
Woo! There you go. Can this fire up the team? Probably not.
Who ejected him? The home plate umpire?
I can't believe that nobody saw that though.
Did it show you Buck getting tossed on your end, or did they say it?
That's the crew chief, Mark Wegner.
Wait, Rob, did they show you on your end Buck getting tossed, or did they say it? Because I didn't see it.
But they did show the replay of him getting tossed.
In the meantime,
Can this wake up the Mets?
one out, and TJ Friedel, one of the hottest hitters for the Reds, up to plate. Friedel.
And I guess not, because it's in the gap.
Boo! Can I go to the Long Island Ducks game too with you? Rather watch them than this joke.
Makes his way to third on the throw. So it'll be a double and 2 RBI for Friedel. And just like that, it's 6-1 Reds.
remains hot, and the Mets remain snake bit. And I tell you
Well,
what, I was
there's no breaks going the Mets' way either.
was going from first, and he was flying. He just covered. This is a clothesline line drive into the gap.
Hefner out there with the entire infield talking to the Gosek.
Yeah, that was a BS thing at second. He should have been out.
Yeah. It should be an out. It was runner interference. He put his hands on the glove of Lindor. Again, it's not a reviewable play. Okay. Everything in baseball seems like it's reviewable now, but they can't review that, which is why there shouldn't be challenges, and you should just they should just call down and say, hey, there's something wrong here. That's what they should do. But
now the infield's in. So
I agree, Jeremy. I would say enjoy yourself in DC, but that might not happen.
By the way, that was.
Oh, you're going to DC?
I think Jeremy's there. Oh, we just hit a batter. Let's go fight. Let's start a brawl. Let's go. Let's start punching people. The hell with it.
Yeah, nah. He.
You've seen the Gosek come up and in a couple of times tonight, and that one just too far inside.
When it rains, it pours. Andre, yeah, we might need a fight, but you know what? Our luck will get into a brawl and our best players will get hurt. That probably broke his finger. Ouch. Or his arm. Ouch.
There's Eric Chavez, the bench coach, will now manage the game alongside Jeremy Hefner and Danny Barnes.
So Glenn Sherlock, who is the catching coach, now becomes the bench coach for Eric Chavez.
And he was the bench coach last year for Buck. Familiar with the job.
Is this Chavez's debut as a manager?
I believe it is, yeah. First time
Oh, boy.
Thrown out.
I would say it could be worse, but I don't know.
That sucked. Point blank simple.
Yep.
They're an average organization and boring.
Questionable. And then a hit by pitch after the double. But they don't hear. And it's the right thing not to do it.
Right. Go ahead, Keith.
And it's just everything's imploding here on the Mets. There's a lot of game left, but boy, oh boy, what can go wrong is going wrong.
Murphy's Law, first and third, as Jonathan India takes his fourth at-bat of the day. We're just in the fifth inning. Just like that, Nagosic falls behind 2-0. Keith, what is that feeling when you're in a slump like this and then it just, like you said, it's snowballing, nothing goes right? How difficult is it to not feel like
Save your money, Jeremy.
everything is going that way? You're fighting a bill.
Well, it's
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
it's a team feeling.
I mean, you can go to DC. There's a lot of other great stuff. I mean,
You just got to push through it.
Yeah, enjoy the views.
yeah, I would go for
It is no team looks
Historical.
as good as it is when they're going great, and no team looks as bad as it looks when they're going bad. And sometimes the other one too, when you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go. That's up.
Speaking of up,
It's going to be another run with a sac fly.
that one up into
Seven
center
to
field.
one.
Makes the grab, and he throws to third base. As another run scores, TJ Friedel makes it 7-1.
Wow.
Nagosic got 38 pitches, a couple of runs in already, had some things not go his way. This is his game here. He's got to be able to finish this inning, bear down, make a couple.
You know, the only thing I can say, Jeremy,
get your team back.
go to the game,
It's only the
enjoy the food,
You got
have a beer if you drink.
28 game left here.
That's, you know,
Nick Senzel takes strike one. Senzel 2 for 3 to double, single, run, and an RBI.
Real very curious, like Neto through third base. The runners were on first and third.
Yeah, Ken. You know, we can kill the lineup all you want. All right, so strike three, but not before. They put up a couple more runs. 10 hits already in 5 innings for the Reds. 7-1 Reds. And listen, again, we can kill the lineup all we want. But once again, you know what? When your pitchers make you come from behind every single day, it's a problem. I don't care how good your offense is. When you're down 4 or 5 runs by the 5th inning, I mean, you can't come back every single game. You know, you might have one time where you come back from a big run deficit, but it's not every day. And that comes back to the same issue. You know, we can complain about the offense all we want, you know, but let's be honest. The pitching is giving us no chance. By the 5th inning, I showed you the stat. Now it's even worse. Through the first 4 innings, the Mets have been outscored over 30 runs this year in the first 4 innings of games. You can't win that way. You can't. There you go, Jeremy. But yeah, I mean that is the main thing. And again, you know what? You can't win ball games if you're going to give up 7 runs a ball game. The Mets are on pace for that right now. The opponent's runs per game against the Mets. Now, after this game, it's probably over 7. You're not winning like that. I don't care if your offense puts up 7 runs per ball game. There's no margin for error. And I talked about margin for error since probably the last 2 weeks now. There's no room for error here. It's either going to be a loss or a win, and it's very little wiggle room. And as of late, again, what is the offense supposed to do? Score 10 runs a ball game? Nobody's doing that. So it's like, you know, unless your pitching gets, you know, can they drop it down to 5 runs per ball game? You might have a shot, but not when you're giving up 7 runs a game. It's not happening.
And also this offense is just, I mean.
So Lindor's looks very upset at the just speaking in the dugout. So.
I mean, I'd be upset if my team was down 7-1.
Well, it's nice to see some anger from the players, at least.
Intentionally reached out with his right hand and impeded him making the play.
Well, it's 100% intentional.
Why did you?
So what do you think Sherwatter's saying?
Well, Jeremy, we're used to this, aren't we? And Alvarez hits a shot. That might be gone. And it is. Second home run of the game for Fransisco Alvarez. Once again, with nobody on. So Alvarez is fired up right now, trying to pump up his team. Only guy hitting on this in this game right now. Second home run, 3rd of the year for Alvarez. Trying to pump up his team. Let's go. Come on. All we can do is hope for a comeback. Let's go.
Down by 5.
Well, Christopher, you know why? Because that's the first time in 2 years he's been kicked out of the game. That's why. It's about time I see anger from Buck.
Well, and I think it's, you know, listen, am I happy he got ejected? No, but I'm happy to the point where he's showing emotion.
Yeah.
And this Mets
Which he
team
doesn't show a lot of.
the past couple of weeks, this Mets team has showed 0 emotion and 0 heart. And somebody needs to show these players, and someone needs to get these players fired up.
Yep.
I mean, we've discussed, you know, prior times when Brody Van Wagenen in 2019 threw the chair in the clubhouse and went off, and then the Mets won 14 of the next 15. Someone needs to light a little fire under them, and someone needs to go off on them. I mean, you've seen clips of, you know, Wally Back, you know, all of those guys. And someone needs to do that. And I'm happy that Buck showed emotion, showing the players that he cares. And these players need to get fired up and have a fire under them.
And that's why you see Alvarez running the bases after the ball went over the wall, showing some emotion. You have to. You gotta get pumped up. You gotta get it going here. You gotta show some emotion. I like to see that anger from Lindor that we never see. He was pissed off in the dugout because of that last situation at second base, but he pops up anyway. So what's the difference? Fucking Christ.
341 million. Whoops.
Alvarez to be able to get to that ball with the barrel tells you
Why does Lindor keep batting as a lefty? If somebody can tell me why Lindor bats as a lefty, I don't care if it's a lefty, righty on the mound. The statistics
so
are
much of a better right-handed hitter. Not even close.
Yeah, somebody can show me or tell me why he bats as a lefty. I will give you $1,000 for my bank account and give it to you.
He's batting under 200 left-handed. He's a pure right-handed hitter. I just don't understand it.
Doesn't seem like Buck's emotion is doing anything besides to Alvarez. Responsible for both runs.
And that should end the inning. So once again, Alvarez is the only one showing offense today. 2 home runs on the day, third of the season. Showing his power, one to the opposite field, the other one to left field. Lindor is terrible left-handed. I just don't get it. But
bad all around.
But for all the people that wanted the prospects up, you get to see the prospects do good and your team lose. So you get what you wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean it's it's frustrating. I'll tell you. I think
it's a loser's mentality when people say, "Hey, I'd rather have the kids up and lose than watch veterans in the game and lose." It's still losing. Either way, you're losing, right? Again, Alvarez is doing his job, Beatty's doing his job, but we have a losing record with those guys in the lineup. But that's what people wanted. You got it now. Now, when Mauricio comes up and he starts performing and we're still losing ball games, then what are you going to say? Right? Ohtani? It's like, I don't know. Like, I want to win. I can care less if Mo, Larry, and Curly are in a lineup. I don't care. I don't care if you, me, Ken, Grant, everybody in the chat is on this roster. I just want to win. I don't care who's in it. I don't care who's in the lineup. I don't care who's in the lineup. I don't care who's in the bullpen. I don't care who's in the rotation. I want to win. It's just very simple. There's no, I'd rather see this guy in the lineup or that guy. We're losing no matter what. Just get the fucking job done. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I want to win. I'm sick and tired of making the playoffs one year and having 3 bad years in a row. And this team, this franchise, has not made the playoffs 3 years in a row in their franchise. That should not happen for a New York franchise. I'm sorry. Especially when you have the Yankees in your same city. And you see the Braves winning division after division. Not winning the World Series every year, but making the playoffs every year. That's what we have to strive for. Can we make the playoffs 3 years in a row and get over that only 2 years in a row hump of making the playoffs? It's embarrassing. So we're going to the bottom of the 6th, 7-2. Alvarez is the only one that looks like he knows how to play baseball with the bat. And we're probably going to lose, but we got 3 innings to go. So as a Met fan, you got to believe? Question mark?
I agree with that.
We get to the bottom of the 6th. Jeff Brigham on the pitch for the Mets. Steven Nikosic's final line, 1 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 2 Ks. Brigham off to a nice start for the Mets this season.
Beginning on Sunday, pitches.
So Jeff Brigham is in the game in the bottom of the 6th.
Meanwhile, to add insult to injury as the Mets trail 7-2, Atlanta up 5-1 in Boston, top of the 4th inning. Mets already trailing the Braves by 7 games coming into tonight. It's looking back to get worse. This is outside. Count. Spencer Steer, even at 2-2. Steer, 0 for 1, but on base twice with 2 walks on the night. 2-2, that gets past Alvarez. The count full 3-2.
You mentioned it's however many games the Braves are out, and it could get longer. But as a player right now, especially this time of year, they're not worried about
You guys, I guess moving on to somewhat happening things. Did you hear that the Oakland Athletics reportedly buy land Tropicana, Las Vegas after their stadium for a binding agreement?
And the breaking ball misses. And Steer on with his 3rd walk of the day. Let's go to Andy McEnany in the studio for a game break. Brought to you by your local Honda dealers.
Thanks, Steve. You and Jerry were just discussing it. Braves and Red Sox.
Oh, that's nice. Show Brave highlights on SNY. That's what we want to see.
The right field seats a 2-run shot. His 11th of the season. That made it 2-0. It's now 5-1, Steve, in the bottom of the 4th.
Thanks, Eamon. And I think, Jerry, to your point as well, I mean, first of all, you can't be worried about the standings right now. You've got to figure out how to just right this ship and level it out a little bit. But with the new playoff format, as bad as it's been for the Mets lately, they come into
Bring
tonight's
them.
game back in the wild card. So
That is amazing. The Mets are 1 back in a wild card position, playing as bad as they did. It's that's why you can't give up hope because of that situation, because of the whole new playoff bracket.
But it's all about getting right towards the end of the season, getting into the playoffs, and then go from there. You saw what the Phillies did. Yeah, absolutely.
And really, the way this Mets team is set up is to have those 2 horses at the top of the rotation, which they've yet to really have in Scherzer and Verlander. And then you look at some of these other pieces of the rotation. Hopefully, Quintana comes back and is healthy and gives the Mets, some good work in the second half. Carlos Carrasco on his way back. He had his first rehab start today. Stevenson swings through that pitch 2-2. But if you can get there and have those guys be healthy, specifically again Scherzer and Verlander, and pitching like themselves in a short series, you're still going to have as good a shot as anyone.
I mean, that was the formula last year. It didn't work out with DeGrom and Scherzer. It's the formula again this year with basically the same offensive team, and you replace DeGrom with Verlander. I still like their chances. If those 2 are going right, I still think they can win a World Series.
The runner goes. Strike 3.
Hey, we got to strike him out, throw him out. How about that? Haven't seen that all year.
Francisco Alvarez.
That's probably their first one, you think?
I think so.
So Alvarez having a banner.
You don't see that much anymore with the way the rules are.
2 away from the knees. He's got a quick release and strong arm.
No. That's good.
Nice
Bring
throw
up-
by Alvarez. Nice tag by McNeil.
That's a bullet.
Alvarez has definitely been the player of this game so far.
Stuart Fairchild, the batter. 1 for 3. That's Brigham. Looks to get out of the inning. He's ahead. 0-1. 0-2 now.
Nobody's happier about the strike him out, throw him out. The race's first, leadoff walk. Jeff Brigham's going to be very happy with Francisco Alvarez, that's for sure.
You just see with Alvarez, the confidence is growing. What do you have there? Timeout? Timeout by Fairchild? You're right, Keith. With those 2 strikes, yep, hitters taking their timeouts.
Hitters want to collect themselves.
Yeah, Ken. I mean, I agree. Beatty,
With that pitch,
all of a sudden looks good defensively. Alvarez looks like a gem behind the plate. I mean, look. I mean, I mean, I'm not going to give the Mets player development people any credit for Nimmo. Nimmo figured that shit out himself, right? You know, it's and nice pitching by Brigham to strike him out, going to the top of the seventh, 7-2 Reds. So yeah, I mean, is it the evaluation process? Is it still, Cohen going through the process of getting all the crap that Orlison had with scouts and player development? That takes time. That doesn't take 2 years, right? The Mets had the number 1 draft last year, even though they drafted another shortstop and catcher. They had the number 1 draft last year. So, the player development, the player scouting at the very least, has actually been better because they've been drafting, really good players out of college. And international free agents, they've been doing very well. We'll see how they develop. But now it comes down to, after you draft them, if the player development is better. Because under Orlison, you could talk about Nimmo, you could talk about Pete Alonso, but they even said, Nimmo, was an all-star. He wasn't even he was technically a top prospect, but nobody was running over to saying, hey, let's bring Nimmo up. Nimmo was a bench player when he came up. McNeil, it took almost, fans bitching and moaning on social media to get McNeil up because he was batting he was hitting high for average, but not enough power. So the Mets didn't want him to come up. And then the Mets needed some offense, and McNeil came up. He started hitting. The same thing, even with David Wright. When David Wright came up, we knew his defense wasn't great. But you know what? We needed a jolt, right? We haven't made the playoffs, since 2000. So you had to bring up Reyes. You had to bring up Wright. It's I don't know. Again, the player development, you're not going to know for about 3, 4, 5 years when it comes to, the guys that Epler started the draft and the scouting. You're not going to know that for a couple of years. So you just have to wait and see. But we're going to the top of the 7th. Get Hayden. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I could just say one quick thing. And that's a good point that you bring up, is a lot of the Mets players who have been very successful weren't really crazy big guys in the minor leagues.
No.
Guys like, Pete Alonso was somewhat known. He went to UF, a big school, big baseball. Big baseball school was noted for his power. Guys like Nimmo, guys like McNeil, were just average minor leaguers. They weren't projected to be these crazy guys. And look at them now. McNeil, Nimmo, Alonso. No one projected to do the things they are. So, it's good to see when you're having guys like Beatty and Alvarez playing really well in the minor league. So, with prospects, it's really
that might be gone. And Alonso hits a opposite field home run. 7-3 Reds. 3
okay.
home runs in the game.
Yeah, you could call it. You could call it. Game's over. Pete Alonso home. Big. He needed that.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. 3 solo home runs. God forbid anybody was on base in this situation, right?
Both by the leadoff guy, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, Ken. Yeah, but if you look at the scouting and the people that talked about it, with David Wright, they didn't consider him a good defensive third baseman. They liked his bat. The same thing they did with Pete Alonso. Wright became a very good third baseman, and like you just said, great coming in on bunts. I'll be right back, guys.
But yeah, I guess kind of like what I was saying before the MVP hit a home run. That's kind of been the thing with this Mets farm system, is they've never really had a whole lot of guys that were crazy elite prospects, were ranked number 1, were ranked number 2, had all the attention, and then just were called up and was, MVP caliber candidates. Like I said, guys like McNeil, Alonso, Nimmo, were really essentially kind of just guys that were just average minor league players. Nobody expected, Alonso to break Mets records and MLB records as Brett Beatty walks. But yeah, nobody expected Pete Alonso to break MLB and Mets records. Nobody expected McNeil to be an all-star, Nimmo to be an OBP merchant, have a great glove. Nobody expected this stuff. And I think when you're seeing success in the minor leagues, that's good, because the Mets have I would say right now a pretty good farm system for the most part, and you're seeing a lot of those guys getting called up last year, this year, or next year. Obviously, Vientos, Mauricio, and you have a couple other guys who are still in single A and low A that are still developing. But that's a good sign. There's a lot of ball clubs out there, the White Sox, the Nationals, who don't have a lot of good prospects. My only complaint with the farm is you have a million shortstops and catchers. The lack of pitching is something that I really hope this Mets team can start to draft. Like this draft, I'm hoping Epler, I don't know what pick we have, but pitching. I want him to attack pitching. Like that's what he needs to address. Like I don't care for any more shortstops or catchers. You have Lindor and like 30 other shortstop prospects. Let Jet Williams and the catcher's Parada. Let him get ready. But yeah. So we'll have a pitching change. Luke Weaver is out, pitched to Gem essentially. But so yeah, we'll see. And I agree. The Mets have a good farm. They lack pitching.
They lack pitching. For everybody who talks about the Mets farm, and they're not very good. Only prior to last year's draft, the Mets are what? 20th in baseball in farm system, and it jumped up to what I think to start the season was like 13th or something like that. For all the people that maybe our top prospects don't turn out the way we think so, but it's like you were talking about Nimmo, McNeil. These guys weren't highly regarded. Nimmo was a first rounder, but he wasn't highly regarded. Coming out of Wyoming. McNeil wasn't high rated. Pete Alonso was. But other guys. Look at DeGrom. DeGrom wasn't very highly rated. Everybody else was bigger. Even Matz was much bigger of a name in the minors than Harvey and DeGrom. Yet DeGrom had the best career so far out of all of them. So it's like, and you said it. And I think the draft is actually next month, right? It's in June.
I want to say it's during the trade deadline.
Because I might do a live stream during the draft because I think it's always important to know who you draft. Because Jet Williams and Parada were great picks, but how many more shortstops and catchers do you need?
And I agree with that. And I think
can Williams move to second base? Maybe. Okay, but is Parada going to be a first baseman? You got Pete Alonso. Is he going to be a catcher? Well, Alvarez is looking like he's going to be our guy. I don't know. So the Mets might have something going here. Yeah, buddy. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that is something I would like to address. I know everyone's kind of like Hayden, relax, like give it 3 years, but I wouldn't be against moving Jet Williams to second base or outfield. He is a smaller shortstop. He's only like 5'7", 5'8", 160 pounds. So I wouldn't be against moving him to second or the outfield. But obviously, he's in low A.
Yep.
He has plenty of time to figure it out. But yeah, the draft is July 11th, so it's in conjunction with the All-Star break.
All right, so home run. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Home run by Alvarez. Beatty walked. So we're looking to start something here with Marte up. Do something here. Maybe get a little rally going here and get closer. 3 innings to go. Get some runs here.
For the Giants, Blue Jays, Twins, Tigers, and now the Reds. 16 games, a 3.118 ERA for the Reds this season.
He's one of their back end of their bullpen guys. They're Brooks Raley or Drew Smith type pitcher to get a hold in a situation like that.
I don't know, Ken. He might.
Developed a cutter last season.
Come on, Stalin. Come on.
More than any other.
Look at the numbers from these guys. Like,
definitely not the back of their baseball card. I mean, Marte's a career 289 hitter, and he's batting 209.
I don't know how long it'll take for me to get used to that, by the way.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I was talking the Reds pitchers. Like, I've never,
Sorry.
I've never heard of Derek Law. I mean, I don't care that he has a decent ERA, but look at his walks, look at his hits. I mean, the strikeouts are there, but like,
Ground ball. Safe. Yeah. All right. That's probably an error on the pitcher. So first and second, nobody out. Mike got something going, guys. Stay tuned. It is our Mets. They could be disappointing, but they might be disappointing. Yeah. So we'll see. You never know.
I do want to mention something. Yes, Stizo, I believe that's how you pronounce the name. There's actually a book on that, and I actually have read it. It's called like The Worst Team Money Could Buy, and it's about the 1992 Mets. Yeah, I mean, you really don't hope that's the case. I mean, that would be very, very unfortunate.
All right,
Oh.
bottom of the order. All we need is to get Alvarez out. Come on, Bogey. Pull that ball.
If the Mets come back to win this, I will do a
Turning
giveaway.
point? Turning point? Turning point in the season?
If the Mets come back to win this, I will do a giveaway. I think that's a good thing.
Jeremy will go to DC. Everything changes.
I'll go to the I'll do the Reds jersey giveaway. and it's Jesse Winker.
Mets could use a big hit right here.
You don't say.
Meanwhile, the Reds pen is working Alex Young, the lefty, up his oval back.
That was a pitch to hit right there.
Come on, Bogey.
That's got to be for Nimmo at the top if they let him get that deep.
Yeah, Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, so you've got 2 or 3 lefties there.
But this is that. Pick your guy up past the contact moment. You don't have to hit a 3-run homer, but you do have to get on base.
I like how they bring that up. I mean, everyone's talking Vogelbach, power. In situations like this, just get on.
Give him a chance to do some more.
That's been the big thing that's been talked about as well. But this offense is an offense that passes the baton, and they've not been doing that lately, putting too much pressure.
Come on, Bogey.
To get the big hit. This is that type of moment, as you said. At minimum, get both runners open. Here's the 2-2 again.
All right, put it up a good at bat.
The right side, so it looks as if Vogelbach's trying to go to that right side as well. At minimum, a productive out.
There's not much else
Muttley, that's true.
to do with that pitch.
Very skinny on game day. All right, full count. Come on.
In the count, full at 3-2.
I swear, I pitch it for Canna with Escobar.
Is he on deck or?
No, Canna's on deck. But I put Escobar in, to be honest.
Vogelbach working another nice at bat.
All right, call the timeout there. There you go.
I like that. He's in control. It's your batter's box. Dude, I'm sweating. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, this is the game right here, I feel.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, it's top 7. I mean,
All 4. Bases loaded, nobody out, baby. Here we go. Mets fans are alive.
Canna, do what you do best. Get hit.
He did it against the Phillies. Met fans are coming alive in Great American Ballpark. Pitching coach coming out.
Nah, leave him in. He's doing great. Derek Law. Leave Derek Law in.
Conversation on the Red side.
Go.
Yeah, obviously, a good 7th inning for the Mets. Obviously, Derek Law comes into relief, and then right immediately.
Who knew? All he needed was the starter to leave.
This is a conversation about
Yeah,
Canna's gonna get the at bat. Canna really hasn't done much all year. Not a lot of big home runs. Not a lot of big moments here this year. Had a couple last year. This is the moment here where, again, would it be nice to grand slam? Absolutely. But you know what? Base hit scores 2.
and we always talk about manufacturing runs. These are the guys that are supposed to manufacture.
Correct.
Canna, Nimmo, McNeil, Alonso, Lindor, Alvarez, Beatty, the guys with the pop, the guys with the power. Let them
Double play.
having a run.
Yeah, the run came in.
Can't hit. Mark can't hit. That's his name. He's
Good call, Tim.
Opposite of what the Mets needed. 2 away. Oh, that's what you call your pitcher's best.
I think I was starting a conversation of even benching Canna in that mix too.
This is a situation, and I just want to say this, and we've seen this a lot this year for the Mets batters. The guy just walked Vogelbach, bases loaded, all the pressure's on him. Let him throw a strike. Like, why swing at the first pitch? I just never understand that. Work the count. The guy showing you he can't find the plate, and you just all right. Well, Alvarez is up.
One swing at the back and kind of put the Mets back in this game. But yeah, that was stupid by Canna, and he probably got hurt running into first base.
It goes back to, pressing a little bit, trying to do too much.
Yeah, I mean, why are you swinging first pitch? Don't be a hero.
Yeah.
You're struggling. You're in a massive slump, obviously. Take pitches. I'd rather him have an RBI walk and pass the baton to Hot Alvarez. Because look at that pitch, 30 feet in the dirt. Yeah, you're swinging your first pitch, driving a yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just get a base hit.
That's the goal.
Oh, Fransisco, base hit. Swing at that crap.
1-2. As Alvarez swings over top.
I don't think he went.
One run across for the Mets. Starling Marte leading off third. 7-4 here in the seventh inning.
I would throw the exact same thing.
Alvarez to India.
One run, bases loaded, nobody out. Fucking Christ.
$400 million payroll, and that's exactly what we talk about. This team cannot hit with runners in scoring position. I mean, Mark Canna, rally killer. Mark can't hit, as I call him. I mean, you have bases loaded. As Rob said, the pitcher's struggling with his command. Swings first pitch, tries to play the hero. RBI, ground out, double play.
I mean, it's baseball 101. Again, I know you look at, when a pitching coach comes out, usually they say, hey, get the ball over the plate, get ahead. And, the batter's probably thinking, all right, he's going to throw a strike here. But the guy just walked Vogelback. He's not, this isn't Mike Trout at the plate here. Like, he just walked Vogelback. Let him work. Let him get into a pitcher's count. Don't give up an at-bat like that. And it wasn't even a great pitch to swing at. And it's like, I just don't know. You get one run, base loaded, nobody out. Like, damn, can you get a sac fly at least? At least it would have been one out with first and second at the very least. I mean, that ground ball would have been a double play anyway, but maybe it would have changed how the pitcher would have pitched. So, you get one run in that, and, you're still down by 3 with 2 more times at bat. So, Canna's been terrible this year. No big moments for him right now. I'm not saying, you got to have a big moment every single time, but you got to be smart in those situations. I understand, you're struggling here. The team's struggling. You want to do something, and you're going to press in that situation. I don't know. That was a possibility for a big inning. You're getting on base, couple of lucky breaks there, and you can't just do it. It really is. It's basically the point of no return. Again, there is 2 more innings, but I thought this was the game right here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Got an opportunity to put up a couple of runs. You put up 1. I don't know. And, Canna's the type of guy. I know Hayden just lost his reception. There he goes. He came back.
Sorry about that. I don't know. Thing said it had a reset. That was weird. But, yeah, I mean, that was a horrible inning. And, I mean, that inning just sums up the 2023 Mets. I mean, they get bases loaded. The pitcher comes in, struggles, can't find, command and control the strike zone. You get bases loaded, no outs, and immediately Mark Canna comes in swinging first pitch. Take a pitch. Stop trying to play hero.
This is a very winnable game still.
It's called hold the fort.
Hold the fort. Throw up a 0. Allow your offense to go back out and put pressure on that pitcher and the defense again. Get him in quick, ideally.
Vino behind Myers 2-0. Again,
it's funny.
Myers squares the bunt.
7-4 game down by 3. Usually, you don't see Buck put in his big guns when you're trailing by 3 runs or more. So you know what, Barnes, whoever's the bench coach right now. All right, ground ball should be 1 out. It is. All right. You can, at the very least, keep this game to 3 runs and see what happens, right? Usually you don't see Buck do this. Usually he put the back end of his bullpen in, but you need a win here.
We're seeing more and more in today's game. The third baseman is playing way deep, and that's got burned by the last game that homestand with a runner on second and running. Beatty had to vacate, and the ball was hitting the hole. And he foul ball, I think.
Oh, headhunted. Hit the bat.
I had a question I kind of wanted to ask y'all. And in the chat too. I'm not a Twins fan. I just have a Twins hat on. But
Oh, it did hit the bat.
the question I wanted to ask y'all in regards to Mark Canha, and a couple of people were like DMing this to me on Twitter. Do you think it's the pitch clock that's affecting Canha? Because we saw in Milwaukee, I think it was Milwaukee or whatever series on the road, when he got called a strike.
In Detroit, he did too, right? He got called out on strikes because of the pitch.
Yeah, and he came out and said that he's a guy that hit the bat, I think, and then he's a guy that came out and said I like to have time in between my bats, and he likes to look at the velocity on the jumbo board, so that could determine what they're throwing and what he's kind of going up against. And now he doesn't have that opportunity as much, so I don't really know if that's a reason or is that just kind of.
Even if it's not like he was like, raking last year, like I think it was Grant or Ken said, him and Escobar, they had like a good 6 weeks in the season, and that was basically it. So I just think he's just not a good offensive player, to be honest.
It's different environment. And for him, it's very important. So he searches for it, usually by pulling it to the left-hand.
I really wish the Mets could have scored these 4 runs, like one of the Detroit games or.
Yeah.
The offense shows up to an extent, the pitching doesn't.
And now Ottavino is wild as well. Can't find his pitches. Oh, that's in the gap. Oh, right to Marte. All right. 2 outs.
Scared me.
That was that good slider that he found away.
Andre, I don't think Canha has a fast bat. He's always had a long swing. It's just he's just not a good offensive player. Committee, probably soon. I mean, they said to come in days yesterday, so I don't know. Maybe tomorrow? You never know. I know we're talking about the pitch clock and everything like that, but like, why is it so hard to stay in the box and just see the ball and hit the ball? I'm not saying you got to make contact every time and do good every single time, but like, all right, so you can't see the miles per hour on the pitch or what type of pitch it is. You've been playing baseball all your life. You can't tell a difference from a slider or a fastball or a changeup. Like, you need to look at it. Like, I mean, I just see it as excuses now. You're a professional ball player. You should be better than that. You should know the pitch that's coming, that you see, that comes out of the hand.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, even for Canha, I mean, like, they put the numbers on the jumbo board, and I mean, it's not like he has 2 seconds. He has a solid 5 to 10 seconds in between every pitch. So I agree with you. I think, I don't know, like Canha never used that as an excuse. It's just people have brought it up, and I figured it was relevant because
no, you're right. No, I know so many people brought it in the chat, but it's like, if and it goes back to the same thing about other players, even around the league, whatever it is from last year, this year, whatever it is, with this sticky stuff. When they banned it halfway through the season and pitchers were complaining why they got hurt, why they didn't pitch well and all that stuff. You're professional ball players. I can assure you probably pitched without it the majority of your career, even in college or in high school or something like that. So it shouldn't be new to these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? You can step out of the box for a second, or you can look up, stay in the box, look up. And you got 8 seconds for the batter to be ready. So if the clock starts at 15 seconds, you got, 7 seconds before it hits 8 to be in the box and be ready for the pitch to come. So if that's not enough time, and again, you're a major league hitter. If you can't tell what that pitch was, the prior pitch, or slider, changeup. All right, sometimes you might see a split finger that might look like a changeup or might have a little spin, not much of a spin to it. It might look like a fastball, but the speeds as well. Okay, that must have been an off-speed pitch. That is a breaking ball. You know what a curveball looks like. Like, I just don't get it. Like, if that's making you not be making you terrible at the plate, well, you know what? Maybe you should be in the minor leagues because you're not good to play in the majors anymore. That's about it. Too bad. Maybe in spring training, instead of twiggling your thumbs and going around restaurants in Port St. Lucie to put on Instagram, maybe you should have practiced looking at the pitch and the miles per hour at spring training. You had a month and a half, so no excuses.
Yeah, I mean, all of spring training. I mean, and that was the time to get adjusted to it. The fact is,
Scherzer was joking about it.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys like Alonso and other players that were at the WBC, and they got adjusted, and there was no pitch clock in the WBC, so they had a much shorter time to get used to it. No problem with them. And like you said, Canada's running around, Port St. Lucie and South and Central Florida and all over Florida.
Lead off, it's batsman.
That's what he does best. Talking about food and like the favorite restaurants. Well, why don't you focus on it? And you see him do it now, and he complains that he likes to look at the velo. And I mean, what is he doing in Cincinnati? He's at like a steakhouse. Like, maybe chill with the food and focus on the game.
All right, come on, guys. Top of the order. Oh, look, Lindor's batting right-handed. Might have a chance.
That's it, boys. I'm taking this seriously. You see this?
There it goes. What is he putting on, guys? Put your bets in.
minus 100. A Mets hat.
There we go.
Let's go. Figured. You know what? We'll make it the rally caps on. We'll see. Orioles beat the Rays.
20 Ks, just 3 walks, and 15 2/3.
Nice pitch.
Lindor to swing and miss. And the count 1-2.
Everybody's swinging for the fences.
Get on base.
Jeff McNeil waits on deck. Lucas Sims up in the Reds bullpen.
Come on, Frankie, let's go.
Come on, Lindor. Yeah, Lindor needs to, a hit would be nice. I mean, he's only 1 hit on the day. Let's get a hit right now. It's been selective because, honestly, I mean, you look at this Reds bullpen, and, yeah, their ERAs are good. I don't care about that. But they walk a lot of guys. They walk and strike out a lot of guys. So be selective. Don't be, swinging first pitch or,
Yeah.
Let them work. It's your box. You're in control. Well, pitch clock, not really, but,
I'm surprised Lindor didn't call a timeout there. Oh, 7-6, baby. That's gone. Let's go. Second deck.
If only someone else was on base. Damn it.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh, I told you it's the Mets hat, the Mets jersey.
Let's go.
The Mets are going to score.
I'm talking about.
Talking about the Mets. So Lindor, and that's why Lindor bats
right
on the right-hand side.
Handed.
And it only goes to show you that double play Canada is so much more vital now because it could have been a tie game if Canada
got
a back fly and then there was another,
Bandwagon is back, boys. Come on, Jeff. Let's go. Nobody out. Let's go. Let's get back in this, baby.
Power is important. I tell everyone, power, power, power.
But why does he bat left-handed? He's so much of a better swing right-handed. Look at that. Oh, it's a shot. Second deck. Look at the power he has right-handed. Come on, Jeff.
I will say that I'll give the bullpen that they're holding down the fort to an extent. I mean, obviously, Nagosic had that bad inning,
Well,
but
that's why last inning you got to put your best bullpen arms in to keep this game close because of this reason. And we haven't done that this year. We've been putting the back end of the bullpen down by 3 runs or more. All right, ball 2, come on.
Against what has been to this point the strength of this Reds team, their bullpen.
and honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but imagine if you started a guy like Scherzer or someone today and they only gave up 4 or 5 runs.
Yeah.
I mean,
And McNeil pops it up.
2021 McNeil, thank you very much. Yeah, McNeil, I'm getting a little frustrated.
This is the reason why I don't like McNeil at the top of the order because I don't think he's good at the top of the order anymore. He even said it last year. He likes to bat in the 6 and 7 spot because he likes those spots in the lineup. So
My only concern with him batting so low is that then in essence, if he'll get on more, he's being stranded by Vogelbach, Marte.
he puts too much pressure on himself, honestly, in that spot. What I'd rather have somebody at the bottom of the order that's putting good at bats together than a guy that's just every at bat he's popping up ever since he's been in the 2 or 3 spot. It's not again I hate to keep killing McNeil, who was the batting champion last year, but it's obvious. Look at his average, look at his totals and his numbers when he doesn't bat in the 2 or 3 spot. If he bats 5th or 6th or 7th, it's not even close how much better he is as an offensive player. So like I said, I understand you got to move guys up, you got to change the lineup around, but listen up, guys. Sunday we scored 6 runs. Today we scored 6 runs.
Still losing.
You have to win those ball games. I'm sorry. Could we talk about the pitching again? Let's talk about the pitching again. We're killing the lineup, but once again, they put up more than 5 runs again. Again, I beat the drum on this. Again, this lineup is not very good right now, but I mean, I would like to look at it. It might take me a little longer in 35 games, but I guarantee you the Mets probably have a ton of games where they score 5 runs or more, and they lost a lot of those. I mean, I can go back. Let's go back to last week. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So over the last 2 weeks, we had 7 games that we scored 5 runs or more, and we won a couple, but we lost most of them. Again, it still comes back to the pitching, and everybody hates pitching all of a sudden. Nobody likes pitching, right? Oh, pitching doesn't win you championship. It's all about the offense. You need competent pitching. I'm not saying great pitching. You need competent pitching. 6 runs a ball game, 7 runs a ball game is not competent. Some new pitcher in Lucas Sims has a 0 ERA in 8 games. 3 walks, 10 strikeouts. Alonso up. Go, guys. Looks like you got a sharp slider.
See Lucas Sims. Yeah, no runs given up.
Come on, Pete.
That is a good point. The slider, he could go away with it, or go to the opposite field, go for a double.
Nice to see Alonso, put a home run together there. He had 3 good at bats so far today, even though he's 1 for 3.
Here's a 1-1.
Ooh, just low. That was a nice slider. But he held off that. Nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're at this part of the ball game where don't swing for the fences. Just get on base. Get on base because anything can happen. Alonso walks. You can get a pass ball and then a double. And
Beatty's coming up.
Yeah.
He's been swinging the bat well this last week and a half.
So.
Good eye. Ball 3.
Come on, Pete. Polar bear.
Drew Smith warming up.
Oh, God. He's not good in high leverage situations.
Here's the 3-1.
Ball 4. He has a walk. Good at bat by Alonso, taking those sliders. Brett Beatty coming up. Brett Beatty is what, 0 for 3 today? But he's been one of our better hitters over the last 2 weeks.
0 for 3 with a walk. So obviously he's only gotten on base once today with a walk. So you hope he can maybe get some results in the hit column, maybe even RBI column.
Yeah, big at bat for Beatty here. Big spot.
Beatty 0 for 2.
That was the pitch.
Big strike 1.
Mets come back and win. I might have a good day, a good night at work.
So I woke up this morning and I was like, I really don't want to watch the game. Come on, Brett.
Oh, he missed that pitch. That was the low. That's a left-handed dream right there. Low and inside. Oh, he just missed that. All right, 0-2 count. Get that bat on the ball there. Try to go the other way.
Choke up, widen your stance. Yeah, that was it. That was
the left-handed dream right there.
Oh yeah, I'm not crazy to say this, but if Lindor was batting lefty, I think he would have been in the dirt and that ball would have been in the stands.
Oh, opposite field. Oh, right at the left fielder. Shit. Come on, man. Fucking ball not dropping.
Well, Marte can definitely
Nice time for Marte to get going.
so they called what he had a hit rather than an out.
Come on, Stalin.
Only Beatty could have hit that a little bit lighter or harder.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 8th inning, obviously. I mean, if you lose this inning, you'll go to the 9th, and you could hope. How confident are you with Vogelbach, Kana, and Alvarez? Not very.
Come on, Marte, lay off that crap.
Could lead to better things for him to be confident at the plate.
So he stares at the first pitch, but then swings at the second. Okay. Yeah, this is the issue. This team gets guys on, can't drive them in, and it's hard. They're always behind in the count. It's always 0-2, 1-2.
Seems like a trend this year.
They're always in a pitcher's count, and you can't have that.
Yeah, base hit. All right, Starlin, here we go. 2 hits tonight. Here we go. Come on. All right, now what's going to happen? Are we going to see some pinch hitters here?
Who's on? I mean, I'm not putting Pham. I'm not putting Yorme. Hell with Nito. It'd really be easy out Escobar.
Oh, it's going to be Vogelbach. Interesting.
So like I said, Vogelbach now. I don't care about the power. Listen, a home run would be phenomenal.
They're going to bring in a lefty probably.
Yeah.
So who you going to put in? Escobar? Oh, no, another righty. Oh, Alexis Diaz.
Listen.
4-out save. Maybe
You're
feels
right.
bad for his brother. Give up a nice little cookie there to Vogelbach. All right, so Edwin Diaz's brother is coming into the game for the 4-out save. Got 2 men on with 2 outs. Mets trail 7-6. How did the Mets come back? Home runs. Go figure. A couple of solo home runs, grounded to a double play to get the run in, and a 2-run homer for Fransisco Lindor to make it 7-6. So hopefully Alexis is like, let's give him a little break here. My brother's on that team. Just throw one down the middle. Let him hit it.
So I asked you guys this. Do you think right now it's the offense or do you think it's more the pitching? I don't care about the 2 outs, runners in scoring position, all that stuff. I mean, it's just.
I mean, I don't think any of them are wrong. If you say pitching, I get it. If you say offense, I get it. But 2 games in a row, you score 6 runs at the moment. 6 runs Sunday, 6 runs today. Maybe they might score more. If you're losing ball games and you're scoring 6 runs, I mean, clearly it's got to be pitching. At least, But yeah, I see Mark. Again, I can't be mad at you say offense, but it is the pitching. You're always falling behind the game, right? Always falling behind games. You always got to come back. All right. So Alexis Diaz, who's been very good as of late, the last 4 or 5 games. Let's see. He's going for the 4-out save, and is Vogelback going to be hitting, or are they going to pinch hit? Let's see.
Something. It works. It's good. As does Alexis Diaz, who is striking out.
I don't ask for much. All I ask for, base hit, tie the game.
His strikeouts per
All right,
9
Vogelback's getting the spot here.
17.2 strikeouts per 9.
Again, Alexis Diaz has been striking out the world lately.
Diaz last year, 17
You got an on-base guy
strikeouts
and a
per 9.
strikeout guy.
Yeah, he doesn't throw as hard as his brother, but his fastball has more spin, and he throws a solid slider.
Thank you. He has a similar
2 on,
wind-up
2 out.
from the stretch like his brother. All 2.
2-0.
Edwin must have called him last night.
Oh, generous call.
2-0.
All 3. I won't let Canna bat here. Are they going to let him bat? Oh, my God. With leaving the whole bench there, I can't have Canna bat if he gets on. If Vogie gets on 3-0.
I don't ask for much. Just please get in front.
There's strike 1. 4th time this season.
Pretty please. Pretty please. Pretty please.
Ah,
Vogelback swings over top that wicked slider.
nice slider.
Count full, 3-2. Pretty good
Well,
pitch.
runners will be going.
It's nasty after 4 straight fastballs. To snap that slider off. Vogelback trying to ambush that fastball. It disappeared on him.
Alonso at second, Marte at first. They'll be off with the full count coming.
Ball 4.
Ball 4.
All right. Is Canna going to bat?
Oh,
It'll be a pinch hitter. Let's see.
that's Vogelbach.
That's his
Will they bring up Escobar?
Go ahead, run.
Luis Guillorme. Wow. That,
Pitch hitter, Luis
why?
Guillorme.
really?
He'll hit
With
the ball
Escobar? Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, is he looking for somebody who can put a long at bat together?
Why is Guillorme?
I would never give him that much for the left side. of the
What? I'd rather Canna. At least he crouches the plate. All right, so you're telling Guillorme he's keeping the bat on his.
I mean, I don't know. Don't know.
I'm gonna mute myself so I could go nuts in case.
There's no threat of a home run. At least Escobar has a threat of a home run. Canna at least. Come on, Luis.
There's that
The only thing I can think of that he can put together a good at bat at least. I don't know.
Canna crouches the plate.
Still, even though he's on the stretch.
Come on, Luis.
I look fastball all the time, Jerry.
So stupid.
Ball 2.
6 straight fastballs missed.
Defensive Guillorme. What does he do?
How about that?
Just stand there, Guillorme.
Eric Chavez.
About that for your first offensive move, throwing it into Guillorme there.
Look, Showalter ejected earlier in the game. Here's the 2-1 to Guillorme. Right back, 2-2.
Even if Luis Guillorme comes through, I don't like the move.
Vogelback on first. Marte second. Alonso third. The
No. Oh, he didn't go, but strike three.
Why the fuck is Guillorme? Why is he up? I'd rather Canna. Yeah, Canna's in a can't hit clutch. Freaking what the hell is the word? A slump. But at least he crouches the plate. At least he can walk. What does defensive Guillorme do? Boo! I don't like go catch a bat in spring training, dude.
I don't understand that. Wouldn't you want to put a guy up there that is a threat of a home run? At least Escobar, all right, he hasn't, done much this year, but at least he's a threat up there. And the first managerial call from Chavez, he puts up Luis Guillorme. You got Canna. If you wanted to keep Canna, I'm not going to go crazy. I would have been okay with that. But Escobar should have been pinch hitting in that spot. God almighty. Like, even if Luis Guillorme would have came through, it's not a good call. It's not. And again, Guillorme didn't go in that. He didn't swing. But again, it's not a good call. I don't care if he hit a grand slam in that spot. By the miracle of God, you can't do that. You're not going to put Pham in that spot, right-handed batter and a nasty slider. So Pham is probably out of the question. But you have Escobar there. Why have Escobar on the team anymore if you're not going to use him in a spot that's basically suited for him? It's a guy, especially with Escobar left-handed, it's a guy that throws the slider low and inside, which Escobar, who can't come around on fastballs, could connect on that slider. Diaz could not throw a fastball for a strike. I don't understand this. Oh, God. I'd rather lose 7-1 than 7-6. Well, bottom of the 8th, 7-6 Mets. Oh, Reds, excuse me. Oh, my fucking God. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Very hard to win ball games when you have Luis Guillorme, Tomas Nido, all of those other guys. Oh, and look, now Canna gets taken out. So I don't understand why you put Guillorme. I mean, if he didn't swing, he would have had a full count.
Yeah, Andre, I get that, but Guillermo is not a threat at all.
Yeah, he's not.
Like,
He's a
I'd rather have Escobar be a threat up at the plate, even if he's more of a strikeout guy. At least he's going to be swinging. Escobar swings. I don't know.
Well, Guillorme swings, but he has like a weird swing.
I mean, he's not a good hitter. Like, you don't put up a guy that is probably one of your second to worst hitters on the bench besides Nido. I just don't get it.
You think if Buck was in the game, he would have put him?
I think he would have put Escobar in. Now, Buck could be making the decisions and telling him what to do, but, I don't know if Buck's going to do that, but I think Buck would have put Escobar in, to be honest with you. Or like Canna hit.
Here's the 2-2 from Smith. Popped up, left side. And into the
You know what? This is what I say. If you're using Luis Guillorme as a pitch hitter in the 8th inning with the bases loaded, then you need a new bench. I mean, who would have think?
Back to the shit that you have at the bottom of the order, that you have to pinch hit in that spot.
And that's your bench. Marte, Guillorme, like Escobar. And, I think that would have been a good moment for Escobar.
I don't know why you don't make that call.
I hope they DFA Guillorme.
Drew Smith striking him out. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing I can think. Like, I just don't get it. Like, the one guy who, like, everybody was saying. I was just looking on Twitter and on the Facebook group that I'm in. Everybody's talking about it. Before the pitch, after the pitching change, after the walk, everybody's like, oh, it's got to be Escobar. Like, nobody thought Guillorme.
Yeah, the bench mob. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, who would have thought that guys like Jonathan VR and Kevin Pillar, I mean, they were providing stuff. And look at this Mets bench now. It's
Yeah, that-
Nito, Guillorme, Vogelbach. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3 right there. And you know what's also crazy to think about? Someone I see it on Twitter now. It should be a 6-6 game. Is the obstruction call?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Could also be a 6. It also could be a 10-7 game if Escobar is that bad, or Canna originally when bases loaded last time he didn't ground into a double play. He could have got walked or.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have let Canna hit. I mean, I would have let Canna stay in than Guillorme. I would have went to Canna. I would have went Canna over Guillorme or Escobar over Canna.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't know why Guillorme is in that situation.
That should have never been a thought. In that late game, I'd rather have a Guillermo pinch run than pinch hit.
And I mean, yeah, I think if Buck was in the game, I think he probably would have won Escobar.
Honestly, I think Buck would have won Canna.
You think he would have let him in?
You know, Buck is a lefty-righty guy, so he probably would have put Escobar in, but he would have either kept Canna in or put Escobar in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes to the point where I've never seen Luis Guillorme as valuable. I mean, he offers zero power. When I say zero, he's been in the league since 2018, 2019, and he has 3 home runs.
Yeah.
So power, he provides nothing. Offensively, he provides nothing. He doesn't give you anything. And people are like, oh, defensively, he's good.
Is that a situation where Chavez was like, we're looking for a walk here? If he's thinking that's just a terrible managerial decision.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, and if you are going for the walk, wouldn't you want to go with Canna? At least he can crouch the plate. At least show somewhat of a presence and a threat at the plate. What does Guillorme do? I mean, Guillorme is a lifetime hitter with a 678 OPS. Shows zero threat. Guillorme's not good. Defensively, he's overrated as heck. Offensively, he's a horrible. I mean, we talk about slapping the ball. He's much worse when it comes to slapping the ball. I mean, you look at his swing. He swings and then he brings his arm around. It drives me nuts.
He does do that.
He'll swing and he'll do that. And I'm like, ugh, it looks nasty to even observe. So they are stupid. Yeah, maybe Buck should have not got ejected.
Everybody is because when you're coming inside, you want to make sure that you miss off the plate. You don't want to miss hard. And sometimes the ball's going to leak in. That's a confidence thing.
Drew Smith, who was not good in high leverage situations, can hold this game.
Smith checks the runner at first. A couple of Florida Gators over there at first base. Pete Alonso and Jonathan India. Just off the plate, count 2-1.
I think that strike zone shrunk a little bit from the first few innings. I always tend to think that when I would come out of bullpen.
Well, Ken, he's not that stupid.
The third inning.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but losing's losing, no matter what it is. So, but it won't matter if Smith don't get out of this damn inning. Can't throw strikes.
Pay attention out there to the strike zone. Would you be able to see that?
Absolutely. You have a TV most of the time, especially at home in the Mets bullpen. You see it. You see when he's calling. And
I like Smith challenging hitters. I have no problem with that. I'd rather challenge a hitter and tip your cap if he hits it than, walk in the ballpark.
Never really had an elite fastball. If I can get 4 inches off the plate, that's a huge advantage for me.
So, obviously, Drew Smith.
Once again, Smith throws over, so 2 disengagements.
3-2 count. Will they send the runner?
Would you?
Yes, this guy's only got 14 strikeouts on the year.
And India is going. There's Senzel. Skies went into center field. Plenty of room for Nimmo.
Okay.
Does Guillorme have any minor league? I don't think he would.
I don't know. I mean, isn't it at a certain point in your career, right? If you've been up for long enough, you can't get set back down unless you approve it. But I don't know if he's there yet, to be honest with you.
How much is talked about the opposing umpire? Not the opposing, but
I don't know. Guillermo got sent down a lot early on, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, personally, as much as I love using the word DFA, I would consider DFAing him or wrapping him up in some trade as some chump change because he offers nothing. Like, offensively, he offers nothing. And defensively, it is what it is. But, like, you know.
And he hasn't been that good defensively this year.
And it's called an heat map.
Well, it's a light map, so it's
You know.
Robertson warming up. Of course, if the Mets, I'm assuming if they tie the game or go ahead, he's going to be in the game no matter what. If you tie the game, obviously not a save situation. So
here's the 0-2 to steer. Just off the plate, 1 and 2. David Robertson warming up in the bullpen. Should the Mets tie the game or take the lead in the ninth?
Yeah, I mean, the bullpen has used how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just gets a piece of that one.
You see the expression on Smith there. He made a nasty slider. It didn't get the punch out. It got a piece of it.
That could be frustrating. A guy foils a perfect pitch. Got to erase it, especially this pitch clock.
The Mets
You have no time to
find the way during pitch clock era to have 3-hour games.
Yeah, you're right.
Count 2 and 2. Keith, would you know when you scored like a great pitch? Would you think in the moment? Yeah, I might have it here.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't think that.
I wouldn't think that.
You just live to find another pitch.
Pops it up. Should end the inning. Somebody call it. Jesus Christ. All right.
Right.
Slicks for the Mets. Alexis Diaz trying to finish out a 4-out save. Coming back out. Again, I think Chavez basically gave him that out with Guillermo up. Here we go, right? The Mets will have up Alvarez, Nimmo, Lindor. So you're getting the big boys up. Can't come back here. You don't deserve to win, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, hopefully this is the time Alvarez, 2 for 3, 2 home runs today. He's been hot. Hopefully he can continue to show off. Nimmo, somewhat of a decent day on base once with hit by pitch, scored a run. So hopefully, this is your big guys here. It's your batters by. Diaz looks Alexis Diaz, of course, looks a little iffy with the command. So take your walks and swing when necessary. Don't be like, useless defensive Guillorme. Hopefully some home runs. But
the light is on.
I mean, way too many past opportunities. I mean, listen, you could say what you want about the umpires giving them that run because of stupid interference. Okay, you could say that. But the Mets had plenty of opportunities, bases loaded twice. Originally, once with no outs, and you only were able to score one. And then you had, we'll see. Hopefully, the Mets can do something.
But again, they score 6 runs. Like you should win those ball games. Like it's annoying. It is. We should have 9, 10 runs. Like you said, 2 times bases loaded with nobody out.
Yeah,
We have 2 outs, but base load, nobody out. You hit into a double play. It kind of kills that rally. But I mean, again, it's either one or the other. Again, we get the runs, we don't get the pitching support, and that's basically it. But Alvarez is leading off. Again, I don't want to see Alvarez try to swing for the fences here. I know he's probably wants a home run there, but get on base. Hit it into the gap, something. So here we go. 2 home runs for Alvarez tonight, 2 for 3, 2 solos. Let's see what he can do here. 9th inning, 1 run down.
I don't know if I can take this.
I can't believe we're sweating out a fucking Reds game.
Yeah, it's a joke.
At a younger age, Joe Power in 2004 at 21 years and 72 days. Here's Alvarez facing Alexis Diaz, who's trying to get the 4-out save. Mets within 1 here in the ninth. Held up there. Count 1-1. New catcher is Kirk Casale. Will Myers moves in from right field to first base, and Jake Fraley now.
No audio. Is that a TV or is that like a radio that you have?
Say it again.
Alvarez swings over
Like
the
the
top.
audio that you have, is that like a TV or is it a radio?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You broke up. Sorry.
The audio that you play, is that a TV or is that like a radio?
No, it's a TV. Does it sound good?
No, I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got a different mic, so I got a little bit more like angle to the TV. So, all right. So that was a big swing and a miss by Alvarez there, trying to swing for the fences here.
Lol.
Slider misses to
But not a bad at bat so far. 2-2.
Wasn't the problem in the eighth. That fastball was the one that he really was having trouble locating. 2-2 to Alvarez.
Oh, that was a nice slider.
Perfect pitch
Jeez.
right on the outside corner.
That's not even a pitch you can try to swing at either. Nice pitch.
That's about as pinpoint as you can get.
Oh, you got a tippy cat that one. That was a nice
Slider here
pitch.
starts outer third. Alvarez thinks
Might have
it's
been a
gonna
little
go.
off the plate, but too
It
close.
doesn't perfectly on the
But
corner.
that was a perfect pitch.
Strike three looking.
1 out. All right, Brandon Nimmo.
So that'll bring up Brandon Nimmo, 0 for 3 on the day. He takes strike 1. Hit by a pitch, scored a run in the 8th inning. Mets trailed 7-1 at one point. Now 7-6 with 2 outs to play with. That fastball
It goes to show you when you hear that. I mean, it just goes to show you how your bullpen actually helped you carry. I mean, this team, like I said, had so many missing chances. But
There's that
the Mets would find Alexis.
just it's an optical illusion to you at the plate. It looks like it's going to sink, and you actually see it with your eyes. But because of its spin, it stays higher than what gravity would normally have effect on it.
Here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2.
Come on, Nimmo, keep your foot there. Should have hit you.
Just avoids that one. The count full 3-2.
You don't want to walk anybody. He's a good live
Full
fast.
count to Nimmo.
One out. Full count to Nimmo. Here's the payoff.
Oh,
Strike 3. Nimmo
that ball was outside.
didn't look like it was just off the plate. But the home plate umpire, Bruce Dreckman,
This team doesn't swing like.
right, and the Mets are down to their
Well,
Did Brendan beat him on this? If he didn't, he
almost a violation.
It's close.
I thought that was a ball.
All right, last chance for Lindor. Ground ball, of course.
to the right side. Myers flips to Diaz,
Fuck.
and that'll do it.
Why are you swinging first pitch? And why is he batting lefty too? Boo! Boo!
Doesn't matter if it was 7-6 or 7-1, it's still a loss. So I don't feel good about it either way. So unfortunately, once again, the New York Mets lose another game. That is,
Winnable.
yeah, another one. Again, another winnable ball game, and it's I don't know. Again, I'm not gonna blame the umpires. It is what it is. Swing the fucking bat. It's a full count. You gotta stay alive in that spot. It might have been a ball, sure, but again, the pitching was a no-show. At least starting pitching. The bullpen kept you in the ball game for the most part. But you can't keep on giving up 7 runs a game. And here we go again. 6 runs we scored. You can't lose those games when you score 6 runs. You can blame the offense. You can blame the pitching. It's a combination of everything. If the bright spot, Alvarez, 2 home runs. But we hit, 3 solo home runs today. Alonso, 2 with Alvarez. Lindor hit a 2-run shot, but he didn't get anything. It's once again, we can kill the lineup all we want, and it's warranted. Absolutely. You had the bases loaded twice. One time with nobody out. You scored 1 run. Again, would that have made the difference? Who knows? But you also had bases loaded with 2 outs. And you couldn't get the bat off the shoulders. Check swing. But it's just a problem. And it continues to be one thing or the other. We can't click at the same time with everything, Hayden. So, I know we're basically a broken record at this point, but what else you got to say?
An absolute joke of a ball game. This team immediately goes out. And you know what? I knew going in starting David Peterson that this would be an automatic L. No doubt about it. I knew that David Peterson was going to go out there, give you a bullshit 3 1/3, 3 2/3, 4 innings with 6 hits, 1,000 runs, 1,000 walks. I think he actually had 1 walk, which wasn't horrible. I'm done with Peterson. The David Peterson experiment is over. I'm done. I'm not waiting around another 3 years to see him constantly change up his approach. Does he want to be a ground ball pitcher, a strikeout pitcher? I'm done. The David Peterson experiment is over. Send him back down to AAA. I don't want him called up because honestly, this is just like 2018, the Wilpon era. You're calling up Corey Oswalt, and you're getting the same results. Offensively, this team was dead. The first 3 innings? 3 innings. They were dead. You had only 3 solo shots from back-to-back from Alvarez and then Pete Alonso. Good to see them hitting for power. Lindor had the 2-run homer. But what it really came down to was the 7th inning and the 8th inning. 7th inning, you go in, bases loaded, no outs. A double would have tied the game or took the lead. Yeah. And then Mark Canha decides to step up, swing first pitch when the pitcher, whatever his name is, something Law, is struggling to finding the zone. Swings first, no outs. What are you doing? Take a pitch. I'd rather you hit a sac fly and drive in a run than get 2 outs and bring in 1. That's horrible. So Canha looked like crap once again. Didn't contribute, didn't get on at all. Only guy in the lineup too. And then you go to the 8th inning. Bases loaded. You're able to work with 2 outs for the first time in 10 freaking thousand years. Vogelbach gets on. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2022 Mets, no problem. And then you get, pardon my language, fuckface Luis Guillorme, who contributes nothing to this ball club. Defensively, he's not great. I don't care. Last year, that was last year. He does nothing. I don't care about his defense. I can play defense. Does that mean I can go to the MLB? No. I guarantee you half the people in this chat could field a ground ball to an extent. But, that's an absolute joke. He does nothing offensively.
Yeah, I don't get that move.
If he kept his bat on, depending on the calls from the ump, he could have walked. If I stood up at the batter's box and did this, I think I could have potentially had the walk. I want to say all 4 or 5, the 5 pitches were all borderline. So depending on how the ump could have went, that's a possibility. But you know what? Big losses to this team. And I'm not going to blame the umpires for not calling the Reds out on that run that later scored. No. The Mets had 2 opportunities in the 7th and 8th inning. Bases loaded. No outs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Failed. the 3 home runs that you had from Alonso, Alvarez, and Alvarez, no one was on base. All leadoffs to start off the inning. Lindor had the 2-run shot. Great. Who do I blame? First inning, McNeil didn't slide for that. He's my first blame. Second blame, Mark Canha, a.k.a. Mark Canha. Third
don't
blame.
forget Lindor in the hole to make it 3-0.
He
missed
did it.
that backhander that should have been an out. And
You're right.
I mean, the runner might have scored in the next at bat anyway, but it would have been 2 outs with a guy on third instead of a guy on first with 3-0, and the inning keeps on going. I mean, that was a backhander that he makes 9 out of 10, 99 times out of 100, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, you're right. And yeah, so obviously, I guess my 4 or 5 blames for today to rant is the defense from McNeil and Lindor. Those 2 guys could have easily – McNeil should have laid out, would have got it.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't, would have prevented the run from scoring. And then same for Lindor. So those are my 2 kind of L's for the defense. Obviously, Canha had a useless shit day as always, didn't contribute anything. So what's the point of starting him? Maybe I should just play because I think I could easily go 0 for 4. And, with that salary, I take it, no doubt I'd stand in that batter's box and just keep the bat on my shoulder. So Canha, Guillorme, I don't know why he bothered to even whatever. Kind of whatever. This team is going to keep running through the motions. They have no hype. They extent had a heart, but they couldn't do it when it mattered. And this was a 2021 game. You get fried, you come back a little bit, but nah, you can't. And David Peterson, obviously, 1-5 on the season. He has like a 170 ERA. I mean, I DFA him or send him down. I DFA him. I mean, the David Peterson experiment is over. I am done experimenting with him. Does he want to be a ground ball pitcher? I'm done. Get him out. And let Epler learn his lessons from going after a huge veteran rotation. I guarantee you, if Scherzer started today with 2 fingers, he would have had a better outing than Peterson. So honestly,
possibility.
Lol Mets, they suck. 2 games under 500. I guarantee you, if the Mets don't win the next 2 against the Reds and take 2 or 3 from the Nationals, or 4, whatever it is, next home game at Citi Field, low attendance and a lot of booze. And everyone,
we're gonna get beat down by the Rays and beat down by the Guardians if we're going in bad. We better have something going. Again, we can make a lot of. We can focus on everything, right? You want to talk about the pitching? Again, nobody's wrong in this situation. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. Anybody in the chat's not wrong. Nobody's wrong. Pitching, offense. There's nothing to go by. That stupid decision by Chavez to put Luis Guillorme, who is barely a pinch runner at this point. You're putting him to pinch hit in one of the crucial moments of the game where you have an opportunity to, at the very least, tie the game. And again, I'm not saying you have great options, but the best option in that moment was Eduardo Escobar. If, as big as the Mets are with lefty righties, they talk about it all the time, right? Big on analytics, big on lefty righties. Buck talks about it almost every post game about lefty righties. Escobar should have been in that spot. Again, Escobar might have striking out too, but there's a threat. There's a threat of him putting the bat on the ball. And what was Chavez looking for? A walk in that spot? You don't do that as a manager. You're looking to do some type of damage. It's unfortunate. But again, we're going to start off the game just like you did say. Like you just started, where you started in the beginning with your final thoughts in the rant. Peterson, once again, by the 4th inning, the Mets are down by 4 runs. Again, every game, it's like a replay. Just change the jerseys of the other team. How many more times is this offense have to come back from a game? They scored 6 runs 2 games in a row. We lost 13-6 and 7-6. That's 20 runs given up by a pitching staff. 20. I don't give a shit who you are, what's your offense. You're not winning ball games that way. You can't win ball games that way. All right? You can't roll up 6 runs and you lost both of them. You gave up 20 runs in 2 games. If that's not the problem, if pitching is not the number one problem, then we're not watching the same game. All right? It doesn't matter what else you can bring up. You can bring up the stupid call about with Guillorme. You can say Canna swinging at the first pitch. That's fine. But the offense actually put 6 runs together. And again, I went back in the last 2 weeks. So that's about 13, 14 games. The Mets in half of those games scored 5 runs or more. And they lost most of them. So are we going to keep on talking about the lineup that is still scoring for the most part? Again, I'm not saying this is murderer's row. I'm not saying it's the Braves offense or the Rays offense. I'm not saying that. But when you're losing games because you're giving up 20 runs in 2 games, find me a team that can win both of those games. How many more runs do you want the Mets to score? Do we need to score 10 runs a ball game? Because that's what we have to do to win ball games when your pitching is giving up 7 runs a game. You're not going to win. So that means the Mets have to score on a regular 8 runs a ball game. Can you find me a team that's scoring 8 runs per game in Major League Baseball? I think the best team runs per game is like 6.5, which is pretty high considering that usually the best in the league probably have like 5.5, closer to 6. So it goes back to the same thing. Is it pitching today or offense? Can both of them show up tomorrow? Do you have confidence in Verlander? Maybe. He pitched decent. After the first inning, he pitched really well. He shut down the Tigers. And that was an offense that looked like they hit every Mets pitcher in that series. So Verlander did his job. Gave up only 2 runs. The bullpen came in the last 4 innings and kept it to 2 runs. The Mets didn't score. It's either the offense coming alive or the pitching coming alive. It's never both. It hasn't been, except for the West Coast trip, where it seemed like everything was somewhat clicking, even though they weren't playing great on the West Coast. They were finding ways to win, which was something that we saw last year from them on the West Coast trip. When you got a 7-3 West Coast trip, and then you come back after that trip, and you're 3-12 in your last 15 games, something's going on. Something's wrong. Could we blame a manager? Is the pitching coach the problem? And I already said this. If you have a bad 7-game stretch here, somebody is getting fired. I doubt it'll be Buck. It probably won't be Epler, but somebody's gonna get fired. If it's Hefner, if it's the hitting coach, somebody, because you can't fire the players, unfortunately. So, Hayden, quick final thoughts, and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah, that's needed. But like I said, kind of just to summarize everything that's been previously stated, offense and pitching both let down. The offense was dead the first couple innings, sparked towards the end, but 2 guys in particular, Canna and Guillorme, just were rally killers. Yeah. Pitching wise, the Peterson experiment, you got to DFA David Peterson. David Peterson is just even watching him pitch. He's not what he was last year. He's not what he was in 2020. He looked good in spring training, and right now I'm very concerned for this New York Mets team. Very, very concerned. It's April or May. It's May 9th, and we're already talking about the possibility of we're already talking about the possibility of people getting fired. That's a joke. And, talk about all you want. Oh, the 2022 Braves, 2022 Phillies came back. Yeah, but at least they played good games. At least they were competitive and beat decent teams. And at least they showed fight. At least they scored with runners in scoring position, hit with 2 outs. Had a rotation. What's the Mets rotation? Verlander, who's pitched like 6 innings this season. Scherzer, who's apparently injured, or a lot of other things. Good. Carrasco had a good start in AAA today. Like, congratulations.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you do that here. You know, I have more confidence in Carrasco than I do Peterson or any other, Joe Schmo in the minors. Like, at least, Carrasco might find the fountain of youth for a game and might give you 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, a run, 3 runs. I take that at this point. But will the offense show up that day? Who knows?
But, just to, I guess, kind of finalize my thoughts. Win the next 2 or next home game or next homestand, 1,000 people and all of them are going to be booing.
They ain't gonna be.
I'm not going to any Mets games this year. Hell no, I'm not contributing to that organization if they're going to, not make the moves that are right in front of them. I'm Billy Epler. What's here is right here, but I'm looking this way. Billy Epler needs to wake the hell up. Didn't address any of the needs in the offseason. Power, didn't address it. A DH, didn't address it. Diaz went down. Oh, Robertson, you're the closer. Could have went out for another elite closer. Look at Alexis Diaz. Look what he did today. Got out of jam, something the Mets pitchers can't do. 1, 2, 3, lights out. I don't even think any relievers have had that. So you know what? It goes to show to everyone. Doesn't matter if you have the richest owner in baseball or cheapest owner in baseball. Money doesn't buy championships. And you could spend all you want. You could sign everyone, Joe, Bill, and Steve, and pay them, $500 million for 10 years. It doesn't matter, because when you have an incompetent GM who doesn't address the needs, that's an issue. In the same line of business. So you know what? I'm done repeating everything that's been previously stated. I've said it earlier, yesterday, on 1,000 different streams. Just go back and watch it. I mean, I literally. But, I apologize. It is what it is. But I do appreciate everyone for tuning in, of course, on my channel and Rob's channel. Feel free, obviously, subscribe to Mets Talk with Hayden or Talking Mets with Rob. I'm glad that I was able to do one of these on my channel. Unfortunately, it didn't result in a good outcome. Alonso did hit a home run today. So, I mean, I got that documented on the channel.
Wait, did you say that?
Yeah, exactly. So, and Alvarez, too. So, fortunately, McNeil didn't do much. But, Nimmo got hit by a pitch. So that's what it does. But like, comment, subscribe, post notifications, do all that. Hopefully Rob and I will definitely do plenty of more streams since we do the streams on both channels. I do like that. I don't know if you guys like that also, but I think that's pretty cool. So kind of mix the viewers, kind of all that stuff. But otherwise, that's really all I got. If subscribe, Mets Talk with Hayden and Talking Mets with Rob. Do I even bother watch the game tomorrow? We'll see. I love GM. Let's go Mets and fire Billy Epler and figure it out now. I'm tired of waiting.
I agree. And well said. Probably can't say it better myself. So, again, I think we're all on board with Billy Epler. He had the trade deadline where he had one of the best teams in baseball last year, where you only had to tweak it. A power bat that probably wouldn't have cost you a lot, and a better bullpen on, even though the bullpen ended up being pretty good down the stretch. That's what you needed. That was the glaring need. And he didn't do any of that. He addressed it with platoon players that aren't good in Vogelback, Ruff, and don't forget the infamous Tyler Naquin. Didn't do nothing good enough. Guess what? That's a problem. Off season, didn't address the needs again. Cohen had to be drunk in Hawaii on his boat or wherever the hell he was in Hawaii to try to sign Correa. It wasn't Billy Epler. Billy Epler knew when we found out early in that morning. He didn't do the job. And again, everybody wants the prospects up. We're not going to have nothing else to trade. So I don't know what guys are going to be expecting at the deadline. It's these guys and the prospects that are coming up that are going to have to do the job. If it's nothing else, well, we're going to be talking about 2024 rather quickly. I'm on board with Hayden. Fire Epler. He failed twice. How many more opportunities are you going to get until you lose your damn job? Cohen needs to step up. You can't be happy. 3-15. Excuse me, 3-12 in the last 15. That's embarrassing against bad teams, by the way. With that said, the Mets lose 7-6. Hayden, I appreciate you coming on to the stream. Everybody, subscribe to Mets Talk with Hayden, Talking Mets with Rob. Everybody, have a great night. See you guys again. Unfortunately, not the results we were looking for. As always, Mets fans, let's go Mets. Have a good night, guys.
LFGM, baby.